All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
For another exciting day in the markets. And yesterday, I don't know if people had an amazing day. It was a historic day, if nothing else, yesterday. What a crazy day with the markets moving down. Let's talk about that in a second, because I guess we've got some market data we can talk about right now and go from there. And we're getting choppy in the chat room, apparently. Choppy in the chat room. All right. Well, let's talk about the one number that we got coming out. The durable goods orders just came out. Expectation was to see a 0.4% growth in durable goods month over month for December, and we saw 0.3%. So pretty much in line, just 0.1% off. We also later today are expecting the home price index to come out, expecting a relatively high growth, 4.3%. Depending where you look, I saw 4.2 or 4.3%, but that'll be at 9, so that'll be during the show this morning. So we'll maybe come back to that and I'll let you know what that number looks like. And then at 10 a.m. after the market open, we've got the consumer confidence number. This is the CB, consumer confidence number, that's coming out. So anyways, we will let you know. That one will be during our live broadcast. Maybe we'll come back and give you that number live if it impacts the market. Because the expectation is that may or may not. I don't know what's going to move the market anymore. I got to be honest. I really don't. Yeah. It used to be that we understood, right? This number would have an impact. This number would not. Nowadays, we don't know. I mean, look at yesterday. What a crazy day yesterday, Carlos. We got to look at Nvidia right off the top, because I was just doing some background on this. For those of you that are Bear Bull Trader members, you would have got our newsletter, and it talked about Nvidia's look at that, gap down red candle. So by the time the market closed yesterday, from the close on Friday to the close yesterday, Nvidia lost about $593 billion worth of market valuation. Just to put that in perspective, that is larger than the amount that the entire U.S. stock market lost during the Black Monday crash in 1987. So anybody who's a trader, you probably either lived through it or know about Black Monday, right? One of the biggest stock market crashes, the largest since the Great Depression that happened in 1929 in the U.S. markets. And Nvidia alone lost more value than the entire U.S. stock market during that crash. Now, the total global impact of that downturn was about $1.7 trillion, but the U.S. stock market was about it depends on, it's all estimates, right? So $600 to $700 billion of it. So anyways, those numbers just boggle my mind, because, sure, it was interesting watching Nvidia go down, and if you got a short trade on it, then it was feeling good, but it didn't feel like the sky is falling type bad, right? Like, it didn't feel like the earth opened up and was swallowing us all, and that there's no hope in life coming. It was a downturn on Nvidia. So it's interesting how the market values change, and we get used to these things. I mean, in fact, as Andrew was saying in our newsletter yesterday, Nvidia is responsible for 8 of the 10 largest single day losses of any stock in history. So Nvidia moves, right? Like, we all know that it moves, but now that its valuation is so large, when it moves, it is significant. It is historic. I mean, yesterday was the largest single loss for any company in the history of the U.S. stock market. So, I feel like I might be, overstating that, but it's fascinating to me how it didn't feel that bad, but it was significant. Like, we can't argue that. So let's see what we get today, right? I mean, Nvidia's got to be in play. It's not on our gappers list. At least it wasn't earlier when I was looking, but it's in play. I mean, come on, it absolutely is. So we'll be watching that. We do have a lot of interesting earnings today to look at as well. So we'll take a look at those. Carlos, why don't we take a look at that gappers and see where we're at?
Absolutely. Here's our gappers list, friend, brought to you by tradingterminal.com. And you can see a lot of things on the green this morning. Nvidia's on here as well. Oklo, which is was in play yesterday, also back on the list today. So we'll be diving in through all of these and seeing what we have to look at. RGTI, so some of the computing stuff rebounding a little bit after yesterday's landslide. Again, DeepSeek is all you're hearing about. All my news feeds, all my X feeds, everything. I'm looking at Bloomberg right now. They're talking about it. Everything is DeepSeek headlines. So again, has definitely caused some ripples here. Nvidia is already on my watch list. As you can see on the bottom there, I have Nvidia and I have JG just to see how things play out. I mean, but that is something you definitely have to watch. All right, let's get to this gappers. Let's start with the first one on deck right now, DXF. So this one this morning, we are gapping up just 120. What is this daily? First time I'm looking at it, by the way. What is this crap? What is? Okay, so let me just get my bearings here. So $8 to 36, opened up yesterday at 28, back to 8, and then we're back at 21. I don't want to touch this. This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in a very long time, since the Prius came out with their electric vehicle, the first model. Ooh. It's the ugliest thing ever. This is in that line of ugly. Peter, what's going on with this thing?
Look, I have no idea. This is a credit services company out of China. They have 180,000 shares outstanding. They've got a market cap of 1.4 million. 1.4 million. That's I don't even like. It's so small. We shouldn't even be talking about it. So yeah.
I don't know if this is even deserving of a garbage truck. Is how bad it is. But yeah, we're gonna roll a truck on this thing for sure. All right, so no good there. Let's take a look at what else we have on this list. Next one is YIBO. So wow, what a way to start the morning, guys. YIBO. This is up 72%, as you can see here. Hard to borrow. Float on this is 3.4 million, so very low float this morning. Again, crazy stuff yesterday. Look at this. Opened up. This is the market open, by the way. Opened up at $3, shot up to 18 with a couple of halts, you can tell here. Then slams back down to where it came from. I mean, this is just messy. I want no parts of it whatsoever, Peter. I'm not sure what is making the stock move like this. Anything worth talking about?
I don't know. It seems like the Chinese stocks are moving, even weird ones like this. This is earnings. They did have earnings. This is a company called Planet Image International. But less than 2 million shares in the float. This is a company that has grown $9 million in revenue over the last 3 years. I mean, it's really, delivering 153 million of revenue in this year. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just not. I don't even know. Carlos, something's going on. It shouldn't even be on our list, really. Yeah,
it should not be on our list. Garbage truck there, friends. All right, let's move on here. See what else we have. Next one, VST. So VST this morning, we are up 5.6 right now, 577,000 shares trade. So we are getting a little bit of action here. This was in play yesterday, if you guys remember. It did gap down, sold off, and then today, second day play here, pulling back a little bit. So Peter, showing some positive signs at the moment, up 5.6, bouncing from yesterday's lows.
Yeah, and this is really just a bounce, like we said. So really everybody sort of took a little bit of a panic step backwards on all of the power producers, especially those that were tied to the earlier, demand in AI. Look, that demand still hasn't gone away. The investments are still going to happen. I think as everybody's calming down, these things are just bouncing back a little bit. They're probably not going to get back, like VST is not going to get back up to 190 anytime soon, would be my guess. But I think it'll probably stabilize here. Will it be in play today? I'm not sure. I'm skeptical. So, Carl, if you want to play on the bounce side of, or on basically the other side of this DeepSeek news, I think we just should, where else do you go other than Nvidia? Just stick with Nvidia. There might be a couple of other things. We'll get to OKLO. I mean, it's in the same story here, right? Same situation, no real news on it. It's just bouncing a little bit after yesterday's hard sell-off. If you like them, by all means, trade them, but I'll leave them to you. I'm backing away, and I'll just watch Nvidia.
Yeah, Nvidia is probably the big play. Some other ones like ARM that you can look at. And if you guys remember, just go back and think about other tickers that were moving alongside Nvidia when the AI conversation was happening. Just look at those, and a lot of those are going to be impacted by this, of course. All right, heading down this list, RGTI is next, one of our good buddies. We do like trading this one. Was in play yesterday, obviously. Today's looking pretty good, up 5.5 right now. We do have 4 million shares traded on this thing. We do have shares for sure. It is on SSR, given how much it dropped in the last couple of days, but could have a lot of potential, and we know how explosive this thing can be. So I will add this to my list, whether it's going to be on the main list or on the secondary. I'm not sure yet, but I think it's worth having a look on this one, Peter. What's your thoughts?
Interesting. Yeah, you're going to go after it. I don't know. It's sort of settled down. Look, I'm continually impressed how it continues to get volume. We're at 4 million shares traded already this morning, and it's hanging in there. Nothing new on the company. So yeah, Carlos. I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to whether it's in play. So I'll let you watch it. I'm sure you'll let me know if it does something interesting.
Yep, absolutely. I'll put it here on the main one for now. Might not stay there, but let's see what takes place. All right, back to our gappers list, friends. This morning, next one on here, we see this one moving up, APLD. So let's see what's happening with that one, APLD, and big slide. Yes, Applied Digital. Is this part of AI as well? Seems like it, given the sell-off that it had yesterday. But today they're up 5.6, 888,000 shares traded. Lower price stock. I wonder if it's part of that movement, Peter. If it is, I'm gonna have better stocks to look at this morning.
Yeah, and they sort of had like really bad timing, unfortunately. So definitely they're part of the AI picture. Yesterday they had an announcement where they had they had secured $5 billion worth of financing to build out AI infrastructure. Probably couldn't have got worse timing on that announcement, right? Any other day, that would have been great. Hey, they got $5 billion. They're going to invest it in AI infrastructure. But yesterday, when everybody's like, "Do we even need the infrastructure?" Right? This DeepSeek is able to do it for 5% of the cost. It was not good news for them yesterday. So what they thought was going to be a great press release, I'm sure the marketing people are like. We're a little upset. So you can see big move for it, like huge percentage move down for APLD yesterday. So hopefully Applied Digital gets a little bit of a bounce today. So
no love for them. Yes, it was the wrong timing, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the next one on the list here, and then we'll hop around a little bit. SMR this morning up 5.1, 837,000 shares traded. On short selling restrictions, a lot of these companies, again, just hitting that short selling restriction. Nuke Scale Power, obviously, Peter, also dropping and selling off yesterday, getting a little bit of a bounce back. Maybe a second day play. I'm not a big fan of this one, so it won't be on my list, but could be on your list if you guys like the way it's traded. We've seen it active plenty of times in the past.
Yeah, and story is the same, right? Just a little bit of a bounce after yesterday's big sell-off.
Yeah, so we'll skip on that one. All right, let's hop around a little bit here. I see more of the QBTS, Oklo is on here, Nvidia obviously on deck, AVGO. Again, majority of this gap up is based on tickers that had a sell-off yesterday with the DeepSeek situation that's going on here. So I have Nvidia on deck, of course. AVGO is another one. Peter, any of these that you like this morning that are going to be on your list?
None of those that we haven't talked about, but if we're going to talk gap up for a second, let me talk about a couple of earnings that we had. Let's see, what's gapping up on earnings? So let's start with Boeing. Boeing's a little bit of a weird story. BA. They actually had their largest annual loss since 2020. So they lost $118.3 billion in the year. And what was interesting to me was that their defense, space, and security division actually lost $3.1 billion of that. So even defense, which theoretically should have been doing really well with all the defense selling, I would have thought that they would have had over the around the world. They lost money in all divisions. So Boeing is just crazy resilient, right? So biggest annual loss in 4 years, not a great forecast, and yet they're barely green, but they're basically break even this morning on low volume. Another one that had earnings was Royal Caribbean, RCL. RCL had earnings announced this morning. They're actually very bullish. They had a good quarter basically beat on earnings and beat on revenue. So their revenue is debatable. It's like they're basically right in the number. The market saw them getting $3.77 billion. They earned $3.76 billion, but those numbers differ depending what service you look at. So let's say they met revenue, but they definitely beat bottom line, and they actually increased their guidance for 2025. So they're very bullish on the year, and you can see them gapping up here a little bit this morning. The last one that's gapping up is RTX, not one that we normally follow, but this sector is fascinating to me this morning in that this is a sort of defense sector. So we mentioned Boeing a minute ago. We're going to mention a couple of defense sector ones that are gapping down, but RTX is actually gapping up this morning, having beat their numbers. This sector is really in flux because it's funny. I'm reading a lot of conflicting articles out there. So under a Trump administration, the expectation is defense spending will go up. That would be sort of your normal expectation. However, the Doge, the Elon's Doge department throws a big question mark into that, right? Will defense spending go up? Because he's tasked with cutting spending all over the place. And defense is your biggest target, of course, and he's already made statements suggesting that he thinks that we're overspending or the U.S. is overspending in certain areas, which would deeply impact defense. So it's tough to tell, right? I mean, so on one hand, people are like, defense spending is going to go up, you should be bullish on the sector, and others are like, we don't know what Doge is going to do, and will that result in some reductions in spending? Maybe, and it could be a refocusing, right? That's where my head is going to. His comments were not suggesting that defense spending needs to cut in aggregate in terms of the number of things they're buying, but just the cost of those things. And we all know, right? I mean, we can't deny Elon revolutionized sort of space travel, or at least rocket propulsion, in slashing the cost of that in his development technique. So, his suggestion that jets, for example, are way overpriced, and maybe we should, I keep saying we, but the U.S. military should move to drones instead of jets. You know what? I mean, you can get a lot more drones for the price of a jet. There's no arguing that. So anyways, who knows where this is going to go? But one way or the other, it puts this entire sector in flux. So RTX is just one symbol. We'll talk about some others that are gapping down in the early trading.
Awesome, guys. Let's take a look here now at our gap down list, made up of a few tickers, not much on here, but I do see JetBlue, which looks interesting, down 8%, so we'll dive into that. But first one on deck is going to be NEP. So NEP right now, we are, wow, down 23%. Ugly pre-market activity right now, but we're down 23%, 787,000 shares and traded right now. Next era energy. And I'll take the time to answer this question. Someone over on YouTube, our good buddy AA Access, where do we see if something has shares for shorts with Interactive Brokers? Just go to your montage. You're going to see that right on here, right? So we can quickly tell my broker is Interactive Brokers. So this is just going to tie into that. And if you double click on that, it'll tell you what do you have for short, right? So for example, on this one, we do have shares for short, about 2 million of them. And so far it has been halted, probably for news, because there's no volatility holds in the pre-market. And it'll tell you the T, that means trading has resumed. But if it was halted, it'll say trading halted here. So get a little bit of information there right off the montage, right in your fingertips with the application we use, Dash Trader Pro. Going back to this ticker, guys, it's messy. Peter, I don't know what's driving this, but today they're down quite a bit with some volume.
Yeah, they did have earnings, which is bringing them down. This space also is one that expected to see a little bit of pressure, again, under new administration in the U.S. So we'll see what happens as a renewable energy partner. That is not an area that Trump typically likes to encourage people to invest in. So we'll see. Anyways, they did release their fourth quarter financial results. And wasn't to analysts' expectations. That being said, they did reaffirm their guidance, so they're trying to put a good face on it. They think they're going to be able to hit their numbers for the 2025 year, but yeah, it's not stopping the gap down this morning.
Yeah, sure it's not. I don't like this ticker at all. I don't like the way the pre-market is right now. Not sure what to expect from it. So I think we'll find better things to look at, like JetBlue. So JetBlue here, which very interesting, Peter, how much they're gapping down today. They're down 8.9, 1.2 million shares traded. But I think their other previous airlines have done very well, United Airlines included. So what's the difference with JetBlue and why they're down so much this morning?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we have seen sort of a mixed picture out of the airlines, and I guess JetBlue itself is a mixed picture because in the quarter they beat the consensus on revenue. Expectation was 2.25 billion in revenue. They did 2.28 billion. They actually beat on bottom line earnings, where earnings were expected by the analysts to come in at a loss of 30 cents. They only lost 21 cents. So you'd think that would be good news. I think what everybody's the reason why we're gapping down here this morning is that their capacity, their fourth quarter capacity, actually decreased by 5.1% year over year. And while JetBlue has actually held their forward-looking guidance, the analysts are a little skeptical they're actually going to be able to deliver on that. So that's leading, I think, to the gap down. JetBlue is one of the worst trading airline stocks in my opinion. So it's not one of the ones I favor.
Yeah, it's not one either that I favor. Also, I wonder if the other ones are dropping down a little bit. Again, Delta not moving a whole lot. United, which had a big move up, pretty much flat. So this seems to just be affecting JetBlue on these numbers, because usually this whole sector kind of moves together, but not the case in this news with JetBlue. All right, heading to the gappers list, friends. Another one on here is going to be JNPR. So if we look at JNPR this morning, we are down 6%. Big drop for them. Ugly daily, though. We've seen this ticker in the past. I never liked trading it. I don't like the amount of volume they get. I think it's very light throughout the trading day. Today can obviously be a different type of trading activity given how much this thing has dropped here. So I don't like it. And even if you look at this 1.1 million shares traded, the big chunk of it is sitting in this one candle. So it's not like you're getting great pre-market activity of that volume. Like we've seen a stock with less volume have a better pre-market activity, and this is not it today for sure.
Yeah, Juniper Networks, company I know fairly well, or at least used to, and unfortunately, right, they were talking a lot of AI, so not a good time to talk AI. They did have their earnings. And their earnings weren't bad. I mean, they actually beat on revenue, delivering 1.33 billion versus 1.26 on the expectation side. But they are up for acquisition. They're supposed to be acquired by HPE, which is Hewlett Packard Enterprise, for about 14 billion. So again, good, but I think the concern right now is, will HPE rethink that acquisition with yesterday's news? That would be a big pivot, just because of 1 day's worth of news on DeepSeek, but it doesn't stop stocks from moving as a result of that. And I think that's what's affecting Juniper a little more than its peers in this space.
Yeah. Heading down the list, another one this one we know a little bit better. This is SoundHound, SOUN. So they are down 4.8 this morning, 3.3 million shares traded. They're known to trade a little bit better than some of the other stuff we just saw on the gap down. So they get the volume. They can move here. They are sitting on SSR this morning, given the drop of yesterday, looks like. Peter, what's driving this? It's a lot of volume this morning, which looks great. Might be a good one to keep on deck.
Yeah, I don't see anything specific to SoundHound. I mean, again, AI. So if you're in the AI space, it's not a happy week so far. Looks like that's just. They've been almost solely right on our radar because of AI. So perhaps because of their heavy investment. I mean, it's right in their name, SoundHound AI. Could be why it's top of the list here.
Yeah, I wonder, did they have AI originally, or did they just add that on after AI became like the thing to say? I wonder if that
That's
was
a
the
good
original
question.
name?
As far As far as I know, I think they updated their company name to include AI because they were an audiovisual company,
Right.
uh, before, and that's why they were called SoundHound. And let's see here, how long have they been around? They've been around since 2005. So yeah,
AI was
they
definitely
were
not a
definitely,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, they weren't doing AI initially.
Awesome. Great move by them. All right, here it is. Soundhound. I'm on the fence. Maybe a possible. I think I'm going to add them as a possible, and then we'll see where it goes. I do like the volume I'm seeing today, so that could amount to something. Pre-market action looks very active right now. Let's see how this ends up. All right, last one on the list is going to be GM, and these guys, again, we see them a couple of times a year when they got big news and when they have earnings. So right here, down 2% at the moment, 706,000 shares traded. Again, so not a whole lot of movement, Peter. Right? They were green for a minute, red now. It's just kind of hovering just slightly below the previous day close. So nothing big as far as movement so far.
Yeah, and the earnings play here, like you said, we only see it when earnings pop up normally. But it was actually a good quarter. Their fourth quarter for 2024 had them delivering 47.7 billion of revenue versus analyst expectation of 43.5. So that's an 11% growth and a almost 10% beat. Their earnings per share were over analyst expectations by about 4%, delivering a buck 92 versus a buck 84 expectation. So like I could go through all the numbers, but their numbers were good across the board. So I think though, maybe they're not talking enough about modern technologies. So it's whatever it is. Yeah, their earnings were good. I didn't actually see much on their forward-looking guidance. Maybe that's the reason why they're moving down a little bit. People want to know, actually John was saying it pretty heavily yesterday. He's absolutely right. Like the market values, right? What the valuation we see in the movement is all based on what people think is going to happen next, not based on what's happening today. So earnings is not only, it's worse than that because it's not only what happened today, it's what happened yesterday. And who cares about
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, right? The stock valuation is based on what everybody thinks is going to happen tomorrow. So their guidance, actually, I'm just seeing here, they just released something a few minutes ago where they actually increased their guidance for 2025. So it feels like, I guess people just aren't buying it one way or the other. They're not gapping down by much, and it's relatively low volume. We're under 1 million shares here, gapping down about 3%. But yeah, that's GM's story so far.
All right, there you go. I don't like it, guys. It won't be on my list. I think they don't trade that well. The price action is not one that I prefer to look at when I'm trading. So, all right, let's stop here, guys. That covers our gap up and gap down here, brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. Peter, let's go to you. What do you like this morning that might not be on this list?
Well, I won't say that I like it, but I'll just fill in the picture for you guys. Couple of companies I wanted to mention. So let's talk defense for a second. Sorry, Lockheed Martin (LMT) had earnings this morning. Little bit of a mixed picture on Lockheed. They just missed on revenue, but beat quite handily bottom line on earnings. So they didn't sell as many things, but they made more money on it. So a relatively good quarter for Lockheed Martin. They just announced their numbers a few minutes ago. This is not a good trading stock, but again, if you read a bunch of articles I was reading, really sort of, again, whipsawing or seesawing back and forth on this one. Their guidance for the next quarter is what everybody's focused on, and that is falling a little bit short of what analysts expected. Again, I think they're being a little cautious because they would be on the front lines, right? If their fighter planes are not purchased in the same quantity they have been, or maintenance, which I think they make more money off the maintenance than the actual sale of the planes. But anyways, that would be a big impact to them, and that's the one thing that Elon really sort of focused in on when he started talking about military spending. This is now a month old news, or a month and a half old news. But anyways, yeah, we'll see what happens. Lockheed is definitely, though, right front and center of this whole conversation as to what happens with U.S. military spending in the next year or two under the Trump administration. So we'll all find out together what happens there. The other one that had earnings this morning, you already mentioned General Motors, would be SAP. SAP had a actually. This is always one of the ones that tough to follow. It is dual traded. It trades on another market, which means we've only got about 16,000 shares traded. Very, very low. But they're a big player and pretty impressive actually. They had a good quarter. They beat their numbers top and bottom line and have a 63 billion euro backlog in terms of customer orders. Now, as a software and services company, I always scratch my head when you have a backlog. It's software. So there should be no backlog, right? You can basically produce as much of it as quickly as you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, it's on the services side that they must be having this backlog. And if anybody's worked with SAP, you know everything takes forever. So these ERP tools, they are so complicated, so complex. I'm surprised that SAP is still doing as well as they have. If I was running a large corporation, I'd be working as hard as I could to get my company off of it. But anyways, that's just me. It's obviously a lot tougher than that. Like they are so integrated into business processes. That's one thing that they did brilliantly for the last 20 years or so, I would say, on SAP side, is they've figured out how to get themselves embedded into a company's way of doing business. So it's not just about the software. You know, you get rid of the platform, you basically have to redesign all of your back end processes. It's pretty it's tough to do, which is a shame for companies.
I'm surprised.
Anyways, there you have it. SAP.
There's nobody that I speak to that has a good experience on SAP. We went to SAP. We're a $500 million company. And when we did the transition, we lost customers. Like we lost major customers because of it.
Yeah.
It was so bad. So bad. How are these guys so big? I don't understand. Like everybody I talked to, I didn't know you used SAP, hates it. They absolutely hate it. So, man, great marketing for them.
Look,
getting into these companies somehow.
What they try and do is highly complex. I'll give them that, right? Because again, they're trying to marry software with a business process and practices and create an integrated platform that'll help manage your entire business from soup to nuts type thing. And it's tough to do, but unfortunately, it's every single implementation I'd personally been involved in, and I've been involved in probably about a dozen of them. None of them hit their targets in terms of cost or milestones, and it's tough. Anyways, yeah, Carlos, like I said, like nowadays I would think there's got to be a better way. I know there's companies out there trying to do that. The ERP space, people are trying to break down the process set and do it different ways, but it's tough. It is tough, especially if you've made the investment, and you might have made the investment 20 years ago, right? It gets so deeply embedded, especially in large corporations. Yeah, prying that thing out, like, I mean, one of the biggest I ever worked on was for BHP Billiton, which is a large mining company, and within 6 months they were already $1 billion. Well, it was about $500 million after 6 months, $1 billion after 18 months, over cost. Like that was over their cost estimate, and this is like, I'm talking 15 years ago. So yeah, anyways, enough about SAP. I don't mean to beat on their business too much, but hey, they from a company perspective, they got a big backlog. They beat their numbers. So if it's something you're interested in, there it is.
That's awesome. If I ever start a company, I want to have the salesman that SAP has, because they're doing an amazing job getting this thing sold, even with all the issues they have. All right, friends, let's go over.
Yeah, can I just random comment, Carlos? I just noticed. Get us side by side there. Did we like buy the exact same shirt in just different colors? Because I've got the little.
You got the little lines. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Look, see, you see that? It's
good, man.
Like we got the same shirt.
Hey, if I'm ever shopping anywhere near you are, man, that means I'm doing something right, man. I just, if I'm shopping close to where you're shopping, I'm doing something good here, man.
Look at us. All right.
There we go. All right, friends. Let's get to our you guys. See what you guys like this morning. We'll start here in our members chat. So let's see what our members like this morning. Again, so far on my list, friends, you can see it here: Nvidia, RGTI on the main list, and secondary JG, which I'm not going to trade, but it's going to be fun to look at and see where things go here. And then I have SoundHound for a possible second day play here. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's start here in our chat room. Looking at our tickers this morning, what do we have? PLTR. Yeah, PLTR was in play yesterday, like many stocks were. Oh, this morning they're getting a little bit of action. So just a drop just starting to happen now. That actually pushed them into the red this morning, and you're seeing the volume kind of pouring in here. So did DeepSeek do something else? Or did they release like the 2.0 already? What's going on? What's driving this
Yeah,
thing?
that
So
that would be awesome if they came out
that'd be
already
funny.
with like the next
That
new
would
one. Like it would just cause panic, man. But
it would be
no, I don't see
amazing.
anything new. I don't
I'm
see
gonna throw it
anything
on my
new at all.
secondary. We'll come back and see what's happening. Let's see what this means. You know, it could be something, could be nothing. They do have 1.8 million shares traded, but they always got volume. These guys are always pushing volume around. I'll put it in a secondary. We come back to it. Let's look at J&J, Johnson and Johnson. Typically, yeah, see just nothing going on. 18,000 shares traded right now. There's really nothing happening. Had a big day yesterday, so they did well. Obviously, the company's not affected by AI, so they did okay. But
No.
for the most part, second day play today, but you have to wait for the market open to see if you're going to get any volume. Like I don't see anything happening right now. But big move yesterday, Peter. We did not have this on our sites. Do we have any reason why they moved so well? Yes, that's a decent sized move for them.
No,
Let's see.
I guess they got a fairly influential upgrade from Barclays Bank yesterday, moving their price target up from $159 to $166. I don't know. I don't like trading this stock, so I typically ignore move. But it's worth mentioning Johnson and Johnson. I mean, it's not the only company that moved up yesterday. One of the things I was going to talk about, like I maybe I've been over focusing on Nvidia here because yesterday there was a bunch of stuff that moved up. Apple, Meta,
Yeah,
Microsoft all had good days yesterday, and
AT&T.
surprise. AT&T, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that was one of the ones I was watching off the open yesterday. Not as interesting a trader, but still a good fallen angel type trade yesterday on AT&T. But anyways, so there were some, definitely a lot of bright spots in the market. If you were focused on AI, you were pretty doom and gloom. If you were focused on, other sectors, you could have had just a remarkable day. One way or the other, yesterday was absolutely historic. But yeah, so some good places to focus on. Tesla didn't have, well, I mean, Tesla's Tesla. These days, it's tough to know what Tesla's doing, right? It started out looking like it was going to have a good day, and then it sold off and
Yeah,
closed near the
yeah.
lows. So
It was very interesting morning for sure. All right, friends, let's take a look here. So you're throwing out TSM. TSM, yeah, again, moving with the whole AI story. Right now, pretty flat at the moment, up 2%,
yeah.
1.6 million. So again, I'm going to go with NVIDIA. I want to look at other stuff today, hopefully, if I can. Apple will be on my list, of course, and Tesla. How about Amazon? Amazon being mentioned here. Big day yesterday. So look how nice that daily was. This morning, not giving you a whole lot, pretty flat. But we'll have to see at the market open where it goes. So it could be a good one. But
Yeah,
Amazon is
look at
one that we're always watching, right, Pierre? Like I always have it, I always keep an eye on it. I always bring it up. It's even if it's not on my main list, it's always something that's being looked at.
Yeah, look at that cool daily chart. I mean, you don't see this often, especially on these large cap stocks. Look, you just have to pay attention to that green candle. It's white on Carlos's chart here from yesterday. So started with a big gap down and then bought right back up to exactly where it's closed for basically 4 days now. So pretty fascinating, right? When you really think about that, like that should be a red candle normally, but it is not. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
big green
yeah.
candle because they actually ended up green on the day, not by much, but look at where they started. So yeah, like a big day on Amazon yesterday. But clearly, there's a selling level that people are holding just above 235. So, or yeah, whatever that number is, somewhere between 235, 236. So yeah, we'll see what happens today, but it is an interesting stock.
Yeah, very interesting move yesterday on it. You know what? I'll add Amazon today and see what that means for this morning. Might be nothing, but let's throw it on here and see where it goes. CrowdStrike, what is CrowdStrike up to today? They're usually not a great intraday trading ticker. They can get going. Obviously, we've seen news come out of them and shake things up. Right now, pre-market, you're not going to get just no information, right? There's no volume whatsoever. I'm not saying that it cannot trade well, but again, right now, I'm not seeing anything great. And even when they move, the volume is so light, unless they have major news or something, it's not going to fit my criteria from what I'm looking for, sir. So Amazon is good, but CrowdStrike, I'll leave that one off. Let's look at two more, SMCI, and then we'll look at, actually, we did look at RCL this morning, but we'll take another look at it just now. SMCI looks good. Got a very active pre-market activity right now, 751,000. Was up pretty nice this morning. It has then since dropped right back down to the previous day close. So could be interesting here. The daily also, again, just try, man, they're trying to hold on to the support area. They're slightly below it now, given yesterday's sell-off, but they're really trying to hold on here. I like this one today. I'm going to put it on a secondary. This could be some good happening here. All right, and then RCL.
Yeah. SMCI, SMCI is a little bit of a weird one because everybody's trying to figure out when their earnings are happening. So if you remember, right, they got that big tick down when they were supposed to produce earnings, and then their auditor, quit in a huff, and then they had to get a new auditor. And anyways, and they've just been bouncing around here. And we were trying to figure it out yesterday, and every single service we went to had radically different dates or no date at all. So I don't know. No idea when their earnings are going to come out. I mean, it's been a quarter, right? They've had 3 months. So now it's time for them to come back and show us some earnings. Remember, we never actually saw last quarter's earnings, at least not that I'm aware of. I don't think they ever actually produced them. Their new auditor just said, I mean, it doesn't look like there's any malfeasance going on the stock, but they didn't actually release numbers that I'm aware of. So I don't know. I mean, SMCI feels like
Weird.
I don't know. Either they're going to release numbers and we'll deal with that, or they're not, and we're going to have another problem on our hands. So we'll see what happens with it.
They're hiding something, Peter. I feel it. They're hiding something. I don't know what it is. We're gonna find out.
Could be right. I don't know.
Gonna find out. Let's start the rumors here. All right. Okay. Let's stop here, guys. That is our list right now. Let's start over to our community events and announcements. You can always see what's happening over at bearboottraders.com. So if you head on over there, click on webinars at the top, and it's gonna bring you to what's happening for the next 2 weeks. We'll focus on Tuesday today. Here's what's taking place.
All right, guys, it's Tuesday, which means we are focused on our strategy sessions. So strategy and trade book webinars. Tonight, Phil is leading tonight's session. Again, always 8 o'clock. Well, not always, but usually 8 o'clock. And tonight, it's the usual 8 o'clock in the webinar room. He's going to talk about how you can use a small account to trade options. Everybody's always interested in how do I take a small account and grow it. If you want to be cash efficient, options are a great way to do it. You could trade options against the U.S. equities, of course, and he's going to talk about how you can do that, how you make it work. In fact, we actually have 2 weeks of option talk. Once you've got the basics down on a small account, then you can get in depth a little bit more the week after with Jared. He's going to be here for the first week of February on the 4th, talking about debit verticals. So how you can use those in your options trading. So 2 weeks of option talk. If you want to join us and see those webinars and so much more, you can join Bear Bull Traders anytime. Go to our website, bearbulltraders.com, and you can sort of see all the deals that we have. As far as we know, Carlos and I have been told we're still doing the MLK Day sale on our Elite Annual. So if you're interested in that Elite Annual membership, look it up. It's a great price. It gives you 1 year access to the chat room, all of the webinars, all of the material and information that we've got. So you don't want to miss it. And in fact, if you've got an existing membership, this will just add on to the end. So you won't lose any time. Even if your membership goes another 6 months, take advantage of the price now, and you'll be set for the next 18 months. So it's good to go. So check that out. Don't be afraid to take advantage of that. Again, going to the Bear Bull Traders website. And if you want information on the markets like we were using this morning to get the scanners. I was using it to get the economic calendar and information on earnings. All of that is available at tradingterminal.com. So they're sponsoring our scanners this morning as every morning. Hopefully you'll check that out at Trading Terminal. Plus, at Trading Terminal, we have a whole list of courses and stuff that you can take advantage of. So check that out in the Academy or on the webinars tab. They're right at the top of the screen. You can't miss it if you go to tradingterminal.com. All right, Carlos, we can set some levels as usual. We can look at what our moderators get your lists in, mods. I need your lists. I don't see many yet. We'll get ready for those open.
Yep, absolutely, guys. Open coming up here in about 16 minutes. So yeah, let's get ready for that. Friends, let's take a look at what we have here. I'm looking at BA. So BA, just reading some of the headlines. These guys saw a 4 billion operation loss on Q4, and they're up this morning, 4.7. That is that's wild. These guys, I love it.
I mean, we can't forget
this company is.
Yeah, they've had a bad year operationally, right? They had those big strikes. They had more issues with some of their planes being grounded. Like again, for the year, $118 billion loss. That's a lot of money. So, but yeah, and yet here they are, right? Look, they were sitting, green and then red, and then now they've bounced up. Like you cannot keep these guys down. It blows my mind every time. This is why I don't typically trade them, only because I just can't. I just can't predict it. I don't know where they're going.
Yeah, wild. Love this move that I'm seeing right now. They will be on my list here. I have had luck trading Boeing, although it's weird because if I look at this compared to the stocks I like, doesn't meet a lot of my criteria. But for some reason, I trade this one well, so I'm gonna have it on here, and looking forward to see what the market open looks like for them. All right, let's start with the AI darling here, Nvidia. So Nvidia right now up 2.5. Coming back after some serious landslide losses yesterday. Low of the pre-market this morning, 120.62. We're giving a lot back, though. Our high of our pre-market is at 125.12. Since then, we've been kind of sliding down towards that previous day close. Let's see where this goes here. But that's your high and your low of the pre-market right now. If you go to the left, we are just below this big area of support that we lost yesterday. That's going to be around 132.50. I'm going to mark this down, 133.33. So I'm going to mark that down either way, just in case we do recover here. That's a great area to look out for. High of the pre-market yesterday, high of the day yesterday, also showing some support in the previous trading day. So that's already marked down there for you. Now, in case we go red, which will be very interesting if we do go red today, towards the bottom below the previous day close, we do have a great level at 114.98, and right below that 113.22. So let's see what Nvidia does today. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Already volume 27 million, and if you know Nvidia, you know this is more than what their normal volume is in the pre-market. So that's looking very exciting already. RGTI this morning, I like the daily for a possible breakout if we start to move to the northeast here. So right now, just kind of hovering above the previous day close here, 6% right now. High of the pre-market, 13.46. This one can be very explosive, so I do like watching it. But even with that explosion, I find it really manageable to trade. So it's one of our favorite stocks to look at. We'll see where it goes today. Another great level here, 14.62. We'll mark that there. And then towards the bottom, you do have the highs and lows of the last two trading days. I'm just going to add the low of the pre-market at 12.67. And then once we do that, friends, I think we're pretty set for this one, for this RGTI this morning. Here's Apple. Apple, one of the few stocks that were in the green yesterday, had a very, very good day yesterday. Again, if you look at the daily, this guy's been beat up quite a while. So, a little relief here, a little support happening around the 200, just slightly above the 200 moving average, that 233 level. So big bounce for them yesterday. As far as levels, high of the pre-market, we're looking at 231.84. And then the low of the pre-market down over at 228.52. And once you mark that down, look at the bigger picture. You towards the bottom, you have plenty of levels. Do not need to add anything else. Those highs and lows for the last two trade days are doing a great job. And then if we decide to go north here, we do have 234.73. And this area here around 238.15 is a good one as well. So Apple is nice. Has been trading very well. Even on this sell-off, they have been trading very, very clean. Yes, it was another great day for them. Let's see what Apple does here. Really like what their setup right now as far as the daily goes. Amazon, very interesting candle. Why did Amazon even drop yesterday? I mean, this is a big drop, and AI is not really an issue for them. I don't think it is, right? These guys are an operations company. It's just sell, sell, sell. So I don't know about this. Peter, do we know what caused this drop on Amazon?
Uh, I think it was. I think it was just the knee jerk that happened in the morning, right?
In the
I
whole
think
market? Okay.
AI and especially tech, they sort of lump Amazon into that group, right? Part of the Magnificent Seven. I think it just went drop, and then yeah, Amazon
Like,
was
oh
able to
wait, this
recover.
is not this doesn't affect us. Let's go back
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It's not
Whoops.
our problem. All
Yeah.
right, so there it is. So very interesting candle and daily here on Amazon. Makes me want to watch them today. They might not do anything. Actually, it might be more of a secondary. But man, this daily is so interesting. I want to see. I want to see what happens. So love the pre-market 233.51. We'll slam one there, and then towards the top, friends. Our high of our pre-market is pretty much slamming. If you look at the daily here against this great area of resistance, like this previous day close at where we have this at 235.42. Man, look at the resistance over and over again. Even the few times we went over it, we come right below it again. So that's our high of our pre-market. Will be very nice. Is that our all-time high as well? Makes perfect sense. That is your all-time highs there. It's just creating a lot of resistance on this ticker. Makes it even more interesting to watch today, especially if we get above that previous day close that we have there. Towards the bottom, just in case, 231.51, and then right up here, 228.67 for Amazon. BA holding this pop-up that we got going on here. High of the pre-market right now, 184.20. So we'll slam one there. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market sitting at a 172 actually on the dot. And then towards the bottom, got a couple of more great daily levels here, 169.72 and obviously 166.67. So take a look at the big picture here on BA. We're going to go back to June, July. It's the next area I see where we have some levels above the high of the pre-market this morning. And again, not the greatest, cleanest daily, but clearly 188.41. You can see that there. You do have some levels. Got a couple of days slamming into that, so that's great. What we do want to see slam is those thumbs up. So if you guys can help us there over on YouTube, slam those thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. It helps us out a ton, guys, to keep this show going and expanding it as well, right? We went from going to about 10:30, now to 11, now to 12, and then slowly want to keep expanding it. But we need your support. So 145 likes right now with 863 people watching. That's awesome. We really appreciate you guys being with us this morning. That's appreciated. We know you have options, but help us with those likes. Really mean a lot to us. All right, going back to BA, I think you're set here. The move keeps happening. It looks like it wants to go higher here, man. It looks like it wants to go towards that high of the pre-market. We got some levels towards the top on BA. Again, such a resilient company. Even with the loss that they had, is still looking pretty good. It could be a sign, Peter, that the bad stuff is behind them, right? And they're just moving forward to a new era, new year. Hopefully that's the case, right? And that we don't see none of that madness we saw in the last year or two. Seem to be issues after issues after issues. The shoe keeps dropping, So hopefully that's behind us. All right, Peter, take us to what our team is watching today.
Absolutely. All right. Our team are starting to get their lists in, and let's take a look at what they're looking at. Probably going to see a lot of familiar names as usual on this list. We'll go right back up to the start where Sean is always in first with his market rundown. If you're a member, you can click on that and see what he's looking at, his detailed right up there. Thor is going to be just watching Amazon and Google. Interesting that's where he's going to focus. Avi, as usual, the Magnificent Seven and AMD. It looks like he did not rise to my challenge to word it differently every single day, but that's okay. At least he's got it in. I appreciate that. Eamon doesn't have anything on his scanners, on his list. He's just going to watch the scanners and see what pops up for him. Nathan is going to be watching RTY, Amazon, and Google. Mike is also just looking at the scanners, so being a little cautious after yesterday's interesting moves. John H. is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, and Meta. Pierre is going to be watching RGTI, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. On my watch list, well, my big three, AMD, NVIDIA, and Tesla. And then secondary, I'm sticking to the majors here with Apple, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft. Brian is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Google, and Meta. I've got 2 IPOs and 2 SPACs to let you know when they open, if and when they open, I should say. Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Boeing, Riot, Apple, SMCI. So he's picking a little bit of everything there. Megan is just going to be watching Nvidia. VST, which we did talk about earlier. I noticed she's the only one with it on her list, so she must see something in it. Well, that's good. And Apple. Jared is going to be watching PLTR, Boeing, and RTX. And Brendan, last but not least, is going to be watching Nvidia, Tesla, Broadcom, which is AVGO, and RGTI, our good friend Rigetti Spaghetti. I haven't been able to say that as often these days, and I miss it. So there you go. Go Spaghetti, go. So there you go. That's what our moderators are watching. You notice there's a lot of commonality watching the big stocks, the Magnificent Seven, and then some of the other stuff we've been talking about this morning. So one way or the other, I'm sure we're all going to find something interesting to trade. What's key is that you manage your risk and you trade smart. I'm going to tell you this every single morning because it is that important. Trade smart, everybody. We want to see you here day after day. We want to see you here having felt good about the day that you had the day before. So that means doing well today. Not for today, but for tomorrow. So there you go. All right. We're getting spun up here for our live trading. We're getting you want to be awesome, Carlos, if Andrew showed up in another color of the same shirt. I think that's highly unlikely.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah.
I think that would be very cool. But that's his challenge. Send him scrambling off, see if he can find another color of the same shirt. But I don't know. Feels unique. We'll have to compare labels at some point later.
Absolutely.
Look at Brian. Brian rose to the challenge. Okay.
Brian is watching the pre-market
not a different
show.
color, but he's got a shirt. Okay, that's good. I like it.
Peter, I think we shop at the same store, maybe.
There you go.
Now, what are the chances that Andrew comes with a purple shirt? That would just be. We got to take a screenshot.
Yeah, the
of that.
pressure's on now.
Pressure's on.
Andrew. He's got to match the squares. We got to wait for him. Yeah, exactly. Humanoids. We are all we're just bots here. Our AI have produced the same images for us. We didn't pay. None of us paid for the upgraded wardrobe. We're just
apparently not.
Anyway, yeah, Brian's got to match the set. He's got to grow a beard. I think that's what's missing.
Yeah,
but I got a couple of years or a couple of days growth anyway. Didn't bother shaving over the weekend, so that sort of counts. All right. Well, I bought some TQQ yesterday at the close, thinking we might get a bit of a bounce today. So we'll see. Did that on the ferry as it's coming back from Vancouver Island. So,
of course you did.
Yeah.
Well,
I should have.
You're up a little bit.
I am up a little bit.
Which one did you buy?
You should have.
TQQ. Just the TQQ.
Oh, yeah.
TQQ. It's a levered ETF, just for the Qs. So you
should have sold it about.
You
should have stayed up late, Brian, and sold at 2 a.m. your time because that's when it hit its peak. So.
I know. Well, sometimes what I'll do is I actually will set just a if I think there's something, it's kind of if I can sort of identify a level. Sometimes I'll just before I hit the hay, I'll put in a limit order for the morning and see if it gets hit. So in this case, I did not do that. I maybe should have picked yesterday's high, which is exactly where it kind of failed.
Yeah, I did mention, by the way, guys, 9 o'clock, we did have that other economic data that came out, the Case-Shiller composite index came out pretty much on target. 0.4% growth as expected, 4.3 year over year. So yeah, I didn't see much of a market impact, so I didn't feel like interrupting our conversation at the time. But remember, the next piece of market data is the consumer confidence number. This is the conference board's consumer confidence aggregate number that's expected to come out at 10 o'clock. So
yeah, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So let me see if I can share my screen here. Come on.
So Andrew says he's not feeling well today, and yeah, he says he may be late, which usually means he won't be here at all. So Who's out there? Thor? Thor is always good at the open. Loves trading with the profit of profit. If you're listening, Thor, and are interested in jumping in, is Thor? Actually, I didn't see Thor's
Lunar
list
is.
this morning. Oh yeah, he did have it. He had a short list.
I'm going to add LUNR to my list of stocks to watch.
Lunar.
It's looking
Oh
really
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, it's really kind of popping up here. But I think today is a day to be a little cautious. I mean, we might get. I would not be surprised if we get some selling at the open.
Okay.
All the people that don't necessarily watch the markets every day and kind of find out what happened when they end their day and the markets are closed. There might be some nervous Nellies out there that are going to be calling their brokers and saying, "Get me out, get me out. I don't care what it costs. The world is coming to an end."
Abandoned ship.
So that's
Looks
a
like it may be.
possibility.
It's going to be you and me this morning, Brian, because Thor is with our peak capital traders. And here's the
Okay, here we
bell.
go. Ding, ding,
So,
ding.
yep. Let's see what we've got
Ding, ding,
this
ding. Here we
morning.
go. Okay, I'm just
Watching
gonna wait here.
Nvidia.
I'm watching Lunar. See what Lunar does. See what the markets are doing. Not a lot of price action yet. Qs are just sort of hanging around below the VWAP.
Wow.
Nvidia is selling off a little bit.
Yeah, still seeing some downward price pressure here in Nvidia.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of
Just got along some Lunar. Let's see, 2250. See if we get going here. Giddy up.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. Giddy up. Okay, oh, Apple's taking off here. Tesla dropping. I'm just selling some Lunar at 2277. That's R4. Let's see if we can get to 23. Here we go.
Taking some off here. I took a short on Nvidia on that little pop up. Sort of playing a Rising Devil play on Nvidia. Here we go. Taking a little more off here.
Just sold
120.68.
somewhere Lunar at 82, 2282. Ooh, now it's dropping.
It's the blue shirt
Okay,
boys.
I'm mostly out of it. Mostly out of it now. So
take some more off at 120.23 on Nvidia.
oh, that's nice. Nice trade, Peter.
Excellent move down. Yep, had to wait for the little pop, the inevitable pop before the drop. Let's see if we can get below. If we get below 120,
yeah, I'm out of the rest of Lunar. Just got that nice pop on it, but now it's now we seem to be selling off here.
We're holding here on Nvidia. Gonna just take a little bit more off here, just in case. Nvidia absolutely has the possibility of popping right back up.
Okay, Q's just went red. IWM's gone red. Dow's still slightly red.
Here we go. There we go. Now we got below 120. Let's see how low she can go. Yesterday's close was 118.42. Might wait until we get there before taking any more off on Nvidia. If we get there. Because I expect it to bounce off of yesterday's close. What was the low yesterday? Yesterday's low was 116.
Yesterday's low was about 117-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going that far. I mean, in fact, it's seeing a little support here. We'll see. It's still early. Let's see what we get. Got a great entry to hold on to this. 121.86 was my entry on this. So got a couple of bucks, which of course Nvidia can gobble up in a matter of seconds. So
Yeah. So just have to be a little bit cognizant of that.
yeah. Thanks, Carlos. So you guys, it helped a little bit of pressure on being on the open. And normally,
Okay.
I'm not sure I would have normally taken this trade.
Yeah.
This is, what's normal?
What is normal? Just looking at
This is
Tesla here.
yeah.
See what kind of a move we get here. I'm thinking of shorting it.
Ooh. A lot of wicks to the top
Short
side of
Tesla.
those moves, those last few candles on Tesla. See what it does, though. I'd be worried that Tesla is also one of those that
I'm
likes
short.
to bounce.
I'm short Tesla. I'm looking for 390 here. Kind of gave me that signal. I'm looking at Bookmap. Gave me that signal that it was looking like it was going to sell some more.
All right, guys, I'm just scanning. So I only had the one open trade, and my strategies generally are either I have something right at the open, which I took on Nvidia, or now more or less I wait for an hour because I need bigger moves to set up. So that's okay. If I'm lucky, Nvidia I'll be able to play this out for the next hour. We just broke 119 on Nvidia. Here we go. Getting down close. So if we can get to 118.60, I'll take my next partial on this just to front run that previous day close in case we get a big bounce.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to take it right now. Just took it.
Yeah, that's going to bounce off PDC. Here we go with Tesla.
Oh, nice. You are getting a push down here, Brian.
Getting selling some more. I'm trading this with puts. So here we are. Here we are. There we go. 19. I'm trading the 395 puts. So that's essentially a different way to short Tesla. Just selling some here at 19. All right. Here we go.
Still watching
Just sell some
Nvidia
more at 19.
here. It's
Just
showing
selling more at
support.
19. That was good. Qs are still selling off here.
Here we go. Come on. Oh, so close.
Getting out of the rest of Tesla. Don't really, there's more downside here, but I'm not, looks like it might try to bounce off this S3 level.
Oh, Aaron. Aaron's posting some of his P&L here. Looks like he's already 4 trades in. That's always impressive to me. I'm not that fast of a trader. Yeah, see, Nvidia absolutely see it got a bounce. Didn't even touch previous day close. So I'm glad I took my partial in advance of it. We're back to pretty much the same level where I'd taken that partial. So I'm just waiting. If we break through that previous day close, I do think we've got some more room to the downside, but it's got to
there
get through there
there
first.
is some orders here at 118, big order 118, probably going to go there.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
Let's
People
see.
do keep front running.
It's right at a level where you should see a bounce.
Yeah. What else we got? We got Boeing not doing much. There we go. There, it just broke through. It's gone red on Nvidia.
Quick scalp there. Shorted Nvidia. There we go.
Take a partial.
118.
I'm just going to wait here. Look at all these orders here at 118.
118.
People are front running the 118 with 118.01 orders. So I'm going to take a partial right here.
Yeah. I'm partialing here
just
as
in case
well.
it bounces. Yeah. Oh, you traded AMD for me, Hector. Thank you. Okay, Aaron, mostly pre-market. That makes more sense. You got all those trades. All right. Your Lunar is just sort of sold off.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm out of that one. That wasn't that great a trade. It was made a bit of money on it.
There we go.
Nvidia still heading south.
Yeah. Right at yesterday's low now, 117.50. No, sorry. 116.70. Sorry, was the low yesterday. So I've got a level here at 117.50 that I've clearly drawn from somewhere. Oh, I see. Yes, that's a level from May of last year.
Going back in time.
Well, it's what I find very useful when you draw these levels over time and you just keep them on your charts.
Yeah.
They'll pop up and you're like, oh, why is the price bouncing here? And you can sort of trace it back and say, oh, look, there was support or resistance at different times. And it's very
if it was major support.
And it wasn't that big of a support level looking back on the daily chart, but I don't mind it. So let's see what happens here. I'm running short of shares. I wasn't expecting this big of a move, quite frankly, when I took the trade at the open. So I was sort of hoping for, well, we'll see what happens here. Maybe we'll get a little bounce and I can.
There's still lots of orders to the downside on Nvidia. So, but all these dollar levels, 116, 115, big order at 115. There is yesterday's low, which we're approaching now.
Yeah.
Here we are. We just took out all those 117s.
Gonna take another partial here, I think. Yeah, 117, whole dollar number.
Yeah, just took some off there. Now we're back and bouncing back. Right off of yesterday's low.
Wow. Great move here. Jared is, oh no, sorry, it's Will. Will, you're trading against me, buddy? Come on.
Still a solid downtrend in Nvidia.
Wow. What a great move.
getting ready to cover more at 116. I think we might be going to 115 now that we've lost, even lost yesterday's low.
All right, let's see where this bad boy goes.
Maybe we might bounce here. Still, it's trying to hold this yesterday's low. So this is basically the market is playing out pretty much the way I had expected. Got residual sellers from yesterday.
All right, here comes the bounce. Bouncy, bouncy.
Yeah, there we go.
If Nvidia holds below the previous day close, that might be a place for me to add. If it goes back up above it, I might have to just wait and see.
Okay, my only position right now is short some Nvidia. So we'll see what it does here. We are coming up to the 9 EMA and PDC as well. So I think that's not a bad idea. Maybe add back to a short right here. All right, let's add back.
Oh, you're being aggressive, eh? Adding back already?
See what happens. If it's going to reject, it's going to reject right around here.
Yeah, I'm waiting a bit here.
See what the markets are doing, seeing if we're going to get we're in a downtrend on both the Qs and solidly on the SPY.
Adding a little bit, 118.
Apple had a nice move higher again today. Okay, this is it. This is our starting to get our sell off again. What are we going to do here? This was almost perfect area to short or reshort. 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart was almost right at previous day close. So two levels there that kind of confirming possible rejection at that level. I think I'm going to cover a bit of my ad here at 117.60 area.
Wow, you're covering already. Okay.
Just taking some back off because I, back lowered, lowered my break-even point here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. The Q is rejected at the VWAP. Wow, big leg down on the SPY. Is it 10 o'clock yet?
Not yet.
It just feels like it. Okay, this is why I took some off. I'm going to take the rest off on Nvidia. It looks like it's going to move up now. We made a higher low on that pullback, and I'm just going to take the rest off. We might actually make it through this 9 EMA now. AMD is down at yesterday's low right now. There's going to be a bounce here today somewhere. Question is where the seller is going to get exhausted.
Agreed. NVIDIA is getting some support here, so we'll see what it does. Mm-mm. This is great. This is trading the way I like it personally. Nice and boring. So, my apologies for anybody that's looking for excitement. I am not Andrew. I do not bring the trading excitement with me, but hopefully it gives you an idea that there are other ways to do it. YOLO. Mr. Pie Joe, I have sort of YOLO'd before, and I lose every single time. Like every time. It just never works for me. Somehow Andrew does it, and he makes it work. When I do it, I lose every time. So I've learned that is just not my style. I'd love it to be my style. I desperately, for years, fought against that and wanted that to be my style. But the reality is, for whatever reason, it's not me. I just can't do it. So that's okay. I've learned to embrace the boring. I can get excitement
It's
elsewhere in
okay.
my life.
Embrace things.
Yeah.
Embrace who you are, Peter.
I have fully and completely.
I'm sure you have. Okay.
There you
Just
go.
NVIDIA seems
See?
to be
I'm comfortable in my little beanbag chair.
There you go. I'm looking for another trade here. It's just we do seem to be finding some support on the Qs. Still, like I'm kind of glad I'm out of this Nvidia trade. I don't see a direction right now on this. I kind of feel like it's going to try to move up through PDC and then through the 9 EMA, and then we may get back to the VWAP after that.
You are potentially correct. I've got an ad which moves my break even now down pretty much to the VWAP. So, yeah, this is sort of what I did not want to have happen. This is a bounce back. But that's all right. Once again, proving I still need to work on my adding because almost every time I add, I can't say every time, but almost every time I add, I end up getting stopped out.
No, that was a perfect place to add. It's where I added, and
Yeah.
we were looking for continuation move down, but also I think we were into some levels here, especially at yesterday's low. This was just a natural place for the this was a natural place for Nvidia to bounce for sure, no question.
Mm.
Qs are now at oh, look at that spot. The Qs are going to go green. Okay, rejection. A little bit of a rejection for Nvidia there. Didn't quite get to the VWAP.
My kids used to watch a show Let's see if anybody's young enough here. My kids used to watch a show, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but they had a thing in it. Rejected, rejected. You have been rejected. REJECTED, rejected. Anybody know that? There were kids in like a
Jeez.
boarding school or something. No, they were. It was kids. It was like. It was a. It was no. It was like a Disney show, I think. They also had the. They had the gym teacher who'd like sushi. I want some sushi. You can never call it sushi. It was always sushi.
Wow,
21 Jump.
that's beyond me.
No, I think it was a Disney show. I want to say like iCarly, but it's not iCarly, but it was one of those type of shows. Anyways, never mind. My kids watched it. I just listened to it as I was doing things. And somehow that show was on many times. So, and I think it's probably because my kids would repeat that over and over again. Zoe 101, Florida Trader. That sounds right. Yeah, Janine. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was probably sitting my guilty pleasure. I was sitting there watching it after the kids went to bed. I think Zoe 101. That sounds right. It's got that scholastic type of title. That sounds about right. Now I got to look that up. Let's see here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who should be more embarrassed, me for having the reference or you, Florida Trader, for knowing it. Oh yeah, that looks right. Pacific Coast Academy, a private boarding school. Yeah. That sounds right. Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Right, here we
The
go.
lead
The
character Zoe
accuser.
Brooks. Sorry, go ahead.
Just going to say, cues have gone green. So then the first index to go back green there just for a second. And Nvidia is still trying to crawl itself out of the basement here.
Yeah, come
Struggling.
on, Nvidia, drop for me.
Struggling. It's at now. It's at the. Is that the view app we're at now? Let me see. View app's 120, so we're getting close.
Oh my.
You know, the only thing that concerns me about this move back up is, you know, there aren't a lot of I'd say there isn't a lot of confidence in some of the big sellers. You don't see any large orders being placed. There are some sort of medium-sized orders being placed around 120, 122. So we might get to 120 here. Tesla's bouncing back here. It's back at the view app. The Qs are solidly in the green. I never did sell my TQQQ because I kind of thought we would bounce back. 391.50 VWAP on Tesla if you're watching. So it's going to be interesting. Apple's reporting end of, I guess, after close on Thursday. That should be a blast.
All right, guys. I'm getting close to getting stopped out here on the rest of my Nvidia trade as it's moving back. Not a surprise particularly, but I was hoping for a little bit more on it.
This is where we're at the 20 now on the 20 moving average on Nvidia. So for those who kind of like this 920 trade, this would be a logical area for Nvidia to reject. Although it's still moving up pretty nicely here, I'd be I think 120 is probably might get a bit of a pullback, but as Paris likes to say, the character of Nvidia's price action has changed. He always likes to look at the character of the move, and we were solidly in a downtrend. I always like to use the 9 EMA sort of as an indicator of whether we are in a downtrend or uptrend. But as soon as kind of we broke that 9 EMA, and we were definitely starting to swing back up here. So Nvidia, there's your 120.
Yeah, I'm out.
It's a nice comeback for Nvidia.
It is 10 a.m. Our last notable economic piece of data came out this morning, which was the what is it called? The Conference Board's consumer confidence number. Expectation was
confidence. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Expectation was around 104.7 to 105. Actually, this is a relative scale, by the way. The number came out at 104.1, so a little lower than anticipated, so slightly less confidence. But doesn't seem like the market cares. In fact, the market seems to like that. Look at it recovering and going up. So
yeah.
Not. I don't know. This number can sometimes have an impact. Sometimes it doesn't. So far, I'm not seeing any big jump as a result of that number coming out of 10. But looks like it might just help further push the SPY and the Qs higher. Making a great recovery. The Qs, in fact, have recovered all of the downturn from this morning.
Yeah.
The SPY has some distance to go here a little bit, but and Nvidia back green and above VWAP. And as I said, I got stopped out of the rest of my shares after making the ad, so not terribly disappointed. Other than would have wanted more, but that was a pretty good trade. So now I can sit back and rest for a bit, wait to see if my next series of trade book strategies start to set up. Probably in about half an hour, but we'll see what
happens. Yeah. So anyway, this is looking encouraging. This is kind of exactly the way I said the market would play out this morning. I said we would get an initial round of selling, as some of the late sellers to the party just wanted to get out this morning when they saw the markets were a little bit green, the Qs especially, and we had a sell-off, and now we're getting a comeback. So my TQQ trade is back in the green. I should have added a bit more this morning, but I didn't. So we go. So we're back to some area here. We may have some challenges going higher for a little while here. I might just got a fair size in TQQ, so I might sell some here.
Mm-hmm. I was bold of you to have held that through the entire downturn.
I didn't. I knew it was going to be sort of a shallow sell-off. I shouldn't say I knew it, but I kind of felt like it was going to be. I knew it.
Well, that's your signature expression. So
Apple is making a new high here.
It is
kind of surprising.
So is Amazon. Amazon's pushing forward here.
Yeah, Amazon's doing well. Yeah, Amazon. Wow, Amazon ripped this morning. I think people are starting to take a look and see. I think you were mentioned this morning, saying, some of this sell-off was just, just people panicking, hitting the sell button on anything. Um, if people, I don't know if this is the case, but when you get a significant sell-off and people are margined up, um, sometimes they're forced to sell everything to keep. Otherwise, the broker's going to do it for you. So maybe there was some margin selling pressure as well. So if you're margined up on Nvidia and you take a 17% drop, you've got to look for other things to sell to maybe cover that. So yeah, look at the cues. Look at the SPY. Yeah, we're going back to yesterday's high on the cues, maybe.
Yeehaw. I love your yeehaws. Yeehaw. Giddy up.
Yeah. There was like some numerous downgrades on Apple. So it's kind of a little bit surprising we're getting this move. It's considering they are reporting on they are reporting Thursday after the close, I believe. Yes, Thursday after the close. The expected move right now is roughly, I guess, $5 either way, by the way the market's got it priced. Doesn't seem like much. Apple.
Yeah,
Oh,
Apple just had a little bit of a
yeah, it
spike
must be.
there.
I'm looking at the wrong chart. You're right. I'm looking at the wrong chart here. Yeah, it's an $11 move. Well, I should say, yeah, when I said $5 either way, that would be 10. So Tesla's coming back up here. Still got a lot of orders on Nvidia to the downside. Peter, have you downloaded DeepSeek? Apparently, it's
I
one of the hottest
have not.
downloads.
I bet.
You're not
A
letting
lot
it.
of people found out about it this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
I don't know. Like,
The
we're starting to
Chinese
get more
government.
details about it, and people are saying that it's a little bit of an overstatement of its capabilities. Apparently, the DeepSeek AI model only does the front end activity, and some of the deep learning activities aren't included in its 5% price tag. So
Right.
but anyways, it's tough to tell, right?
So
I mean,
you're not letting
I don't know enough
the
about.
Chinese government. You're not letting the Chinese government control your life yet.
Well, not that I'm aware of, anyways. So
Make decisions for you.
I just I never downloaded TikTok. I didn't feel the need, and I've tried to avoid tools that I think they might, but who knows? There could be a dozen other software programs on my phone that are applications that are
Yes.
downloading all my information. So I suppose I'm probably the least worrisome of the people they could get data from. It's funny because people are saying, "Oh, what's the harm? Who cares if the Chinese government has our data?" And I keep thinking, as a Canadian, I've got a different but not dissimilar perspective that I don't want any foreign government to have my data, and it's not me that's the problem, right? Like, I don't do anything important, but it's the guy that, you know, keeps the passwords in a file on his phone because he happens to work for the utility company, or the, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or you know, the people that you wouldn't necessarily think of. It's not the high ranking government officials, it's the you know, the office manager of the high ranking official that's using this. That's the problem, where you could get the data, you know, much more aggressively from people who are in secondary positions, especially when you amalgamate it. Imagine if you just get pieces of data from random people, you can start to put together corporate security profiles on organizations. And anyways, you know, it's just I think there's a real threat
I'm
there,
short
but
Nvidia.
how is it really being exercised? That I have no idea. I got no, you know, is this all
I'm short in
theoretical? Are we
I'm
I
short
heard that. Sorry,
Nvidia
short
again, by the
Nvidia.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at
This is the
Apple to see
pattern I
if it
love.
was a short, but not yet.
Yeah.
It's not a short
Apple's
yet.
still going. This is the pattern I love to see, this consolidation pattern on Bookmap, and then this sort of leaking off here. I call it,
Okay.
should have to come up with a name for it. It's bouncing back now. It's got, I did take a bit of a partial on that large order that just showed up here. Shit. See how it tried to make a new high, couldn't do it, and then it just started to you started to lose this little pattern here. So this little area of consolidation. So that's where I got short right in here. We still have some orders down here. 118, 117. Still big order here, sitting here, 116. May not get there. We may just hack around here. The Q's pulled back now to the VWAP after that nice run up. We'll see if the Q's can hold here, or if we're going to drop again.
SMCI, you guys are talking about? What is SMCI doing? Not that much.
I have a feeling we're going to get some good numbers from the tech companies that are reporting this week.
Yeah. Huh?
Should boost the market back up. I'm not so sure about Apple, but Apple is continuing to move up here. Wow.
The other one that's had a good morning and a good move up is Royal Caribbean, RCL. It didn't look good right at the open, but it's moved up $10 now. Apple's still pushing higher here.
See what Nvidia does. I've taken a partial already, so it's getting close to my break even on the rest. The Qs are pushing higher. They're back at high of day here.
Mm-hmm. Microsoft also pushing up in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Come on, here we go. This is kind of, I'd like to see a little bit of another flush here on Nvidia. This is, oh, buyers came back in. I'm getting out of the rest of it. Don't like the fact that it didn't break down there. So there you go. See back up. AMD, SPY,
Yeah.
everything's pushing back higher now. There we
I got
go.
to
Our
admit,
Qs are high day.
Ken,
Go ahead.
the cruise lines are a regret for my long-term portfolio that I really should have thought, the cruise lines, they weren't going anywhere. They had all these big boats. Who are they going to sell them to? So back when things were really low, towards the end of the pandemic, I really should have bought. I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't have the confidence in it. But looking back now, of course, and you say you could have easily got Royal Caribbean for about $40. Now it's what,
Yeah.
260? That would have been a good return over 2 years. So
Yeah, same with Carnival Cruise Lines. The airlines were all really beaten up as well.
Chris, I saw somebody post. It was something in a Reddit thread where they were like, but they were in the. I can't remember where they were. San Francisco, maybe area. They're saying they were took a picture at the grocery store. Eggs were $10.99 a carton. $10.99. That's a buck an egg almost. Anyways,
When is it? When was that?
That was just yesterday that I saw the post.
Oh, wow.
Saw one that had 60. Well, I'm sure if you go to Whole Foods, or you can get free range, lovingly extruded eggs for some ungodly price, but
Lovingly extruded.
greedy chickens. I don't know. I was trying to think of some fancy term for eggs other than just free range.
I think you've come up with a tagline for an egg company.
Yeah,
Lovingly extruded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every chicken is hand massaged to make the egg passing process as delightful as possible.
Yeah, Mike knows. Mike's got all the food horror stories in California. What are eggs? What are eggs worth in Kansas, Mike? They must be cheap.
Yeah. See, but even Eric M, if you got 5 dozen eggs for $38, you're still paying. What is that? I'm just doing rough math in my head, but that's like 60 cents an egg. $38 divided by 60. Yeah, 63 cents an egg. That's pretty good. So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh well. We go the queues. We're right back. We're up near pre-market high right now, so we'll see if what the queues can manage here.
I noticed Nvidia sort of came back up above the VWAP.
And I see Lunar's coming back up here. Eurocen is looking for one of your setups. I can tell you one of them would be a mountain pass for Peter. This would be kind of like a double top. Or a lightning bolt pattern, which is like an ABCD pattern. Excuse me. I'm just thinking about Apple right now.
Me too.
Thinking maybe maybe this is an area we're getting to, or it might be a short. It's up near R4.
So, Narusan, assuming that you're an elite member, you get access to our education center. Here's right in there. They've got all like little short videos on our trade setups, so you can see the lightning bolt and the mountain path.
Gonna sell some more TQQ here. Let's take a look at Apple, see what Bookmap looks like.
Yeah, what does Bookmap look like on Apple?
Big orders at 237, big order at 238, so it's still pretty bullish, honestly. SPY is at pretty close to the high of the pre-market now. Yeah, really hard to short Apple. It's just so strong, but like I said, what does it look like on a daily here? Getting into an area that might be resistance. Hmm. 240 looks like a better area to short.
Well, I'm sort of hoping that you're wrong because I am short Apple.
Okay,
So
that's okay. Well,
taking a
this
quick
is a good
partial
area.
here.
This is a good area to short it.
It's
Not a
just
bad
uncertain as
area
to which way
anyway.
it's going to go. Yeah, I've moved based on what you said with some of the top side orders. I've moved my stop very aggressively to break even here. I did short. I added into it, and original stop was above the high of day. Now my stop's at break even. I need to get to 236. Hopefully, for me to take a partial. 236.50, where I'll stop if it gets back up over that, which it could very easily. There you go. Just stop me out at break even, so that's fine. I've traded Apple enough that I know it can be very jumpy around here. So you're right, it could very easily go higher. So I'm not going to take a lot of risk on it. It was sort of very weak mountain pass type trade where tested the high, came back and retested the high. I went short right after the high retest. In fact, I got in a little later than I wanted, which is why I added half size and then added into it. So we'll see what it does.
Mm.
But I see Nvidia's pushing a little higher, and the markets also are pushing higher here. So it didn't give me a lot of
Yeah,
confidence in my Apple short.
there goes the Qs, there goes the SPY.
Now look at Amazon and Google. Google's also moving higher.
Yeah, everything's moving back up here.
So for those that were asking, this is not a great example, but let me post the to our members. Weak mountain pass trade that failed. So here we go. So just so you can
There's
see,
your big
since
move. Yeah.
yeah. Hmm. Well, John, are you at least in Mountain Amazon? If you got Amazon for a high of day just past yesterday's close, you'd be very happy right now.
I don't understand why they're buying Apple, but it's got to be a
Nice.
reason.
Nice, John.
Somebody's after it. It's great.
Somebody.
Wow, somebody's buying.
Mm-hmm.
Big order at 238 now. Maybe it is going to 240.
Maybe. All right, guys. I can feel myself getting a little hangry here. I've been here for a little more than an hour longer than I anticipated. So I'm going to go heat up my breakfast. My wife made me a lovely
Yeah,
egg bake.
Peter,
I've got to go heat it up, and then
thanks for jumping
I'll,
on.
I'll be back. I think we've got someone coming on at 11, maybe. So I won't leave you hanging for
Yeah,
half an hour, but just give me a couple minutes, and then I'll be
sure.
back.
No worries. And off we go here. Apple still heading higher. I did get along a little bit on this breakout. So this breakout through 237, just a small size, just because I was getting bored. So it's looking not too bad here. We're going to there's a big order here at 238. Now that we've kind of broken through, now that we've broken through this this R4 level, where they're still hanging around there though, and the Qs are moving up through high of day. Same with the SPY. It's a nice bounce back here. Beautiful.
Wow, that was neat, Brian. I just went to heat up my breakfast, and I have a Bluetooth headset on, and
Okay.
uh, I was listening to you, and it was fine until I started the microwave, and then it just went just as proof of like signal interference. Turned on the microwave, cut out the Bluetooth signal. I didn't know that those signals conflicted, but apparently they do.
No, I think I started talking like that just when you were out.
Did you just to mess with me?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of short circuited there.
Was the microwave made in China? Probably. Aren't all of our appliances made in China these days? I mean, what isn't? So
Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe Vietnam. Oh, look at this. Man, oh man. All right. Well, that's working out quite well, this TQQ trade. Like I said, I should have added more when we sold off this morning. I just didn't know where the bottom was going to be. Damn. All right. Well, it's all good. Did manage to slip in a very dangerous SPX options trade as well this morning. Just a couple of options. So this has actually turned into a pretty decent day overall, I would say.
I should have obviously reversed my positions on both Nvidia and Apple when I got out of them. So
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
no
well.
kidding. Look at Apple's. Apple's still trying to push to that 238 level.
It's amazing to me. Like even Boeing is having a green day. They're up since the market opened, and this is after releasing their earnings and having a record loss in the quarter and the year. So
But they have a
nobody
plan.
cares. They have a plan, yeah. They
Yeah,
even lost
they
money in
have a turnaround plan.
their defense sector. So I don't know.
Wow.
It's crazy stuff. Boeing,
No
you
kidding.
can't. It doesn't matter what the earnings say. Boeing never moves in relation to its earnings, really.
All right. Here we go. Here comes 238 on Apple, and there it is. So I'm just selling some here. Don't have a lot of shares.
But
There's a huge order at 240. You can see that on Bookmap right here. We've got that big order right there. All right. We just sold a little more TQQ from yesterday's swing trade. So what do we do here today? How did everyone else make out? See Ellie, one of our traders here in the room. Ellie, nice move on. I'm going to guess that's Nvidia. We caught the bottom there. Beautiful. Really nice trade. Nvidia and Google. Yeah, Google's had a nice pop up here as well. Yeah, Google actually was a nice trade because it would have been a perfect entry right off yesterday's low. That's where it found a bottom. They keep talking about levels that you should have on your chart. Three that definitely should be there would be yesterday's previous day's high, previous day's low, and previous day close. The king of all levels, as Jared likes to call it.
yes, he does.
What else have we got here today? Sahar, nice move on PLTR. It was something I was considered watching this morning, but there was an awful lot of stuff to watch here.
Mm-hmm.
Leon had a nice short. Again, hard to see what. There's nothing there, but it looks like might have been Nvidia or not Nvidia. Looks like it might have been Tesla. Caught a nice short on that one this morning. And John's been trading Amazon. Amazon's been moving up nicely. Right back to R3. Okay, we're finally getting some profit taking here, and nobody gave the memo to Apple yet. It's still hanging around here.
Well, Apple finally got a volume spike up near the top here. Maybe it's almost done.
Yeah, might be. Q's and SPY are finally pulling back a bit here. Q's have gone through the VWAP. The SPY is up on top of the 9 EMA right now, but maybe getting ready to roll over a bit.
There's a little bit of a move on Apple. See if it holds this pullback.
Hmm. Yeah, Apple's still sitting on top of the 9 EMA at the 2-minute chart, but yeah, maybe it's going to drop here. A bit. I wouldn't expect a huge pullback on Apple, but
Well, I'm hoping you're wrong.
see if we get more of a drop here.
Boeing has maybe finally topped. Royal Caribbean still moving higher, 261 now. Oh, Royal Caribbean.
All right, so Q's and SPY bouncing a bit. Q's bounced right off yesterday's high. See if it can hold here now. See if it can retest the high of day. It's probably good chance it will. SPY bounced right off 9 EMA. And Apple coming back up.
Seems you're right about Apple. Back out at break even on that again.
Yeah, it just seems like there's they're just buying it. I don't again, I don't know. Somebody knows something about this earnings. I guess I think the pop yesterday, partly there was some news about AI on Apple. Didn't they turn their AI thing on or something? Their AI
Did they?
application.
Not,
I
not
thought
the
that's
best
what I
day to have
read.
turned it on.
Well,
Maybe.
it's still like, I mean, they had a good day. Yeah, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
I think that despite the
Let's see.
big tech sell-off, they certainly didn't. didn't suffer too much. Yeah, it looks like Apple really wants maybe to get to 240. Who knows?
You know what? Yeah, it looks like the news yesterday regarding AI and Apple was surprisingly positive, considering the our Chinese AI friend DeepSeek. But here, why Apple dodged the DeepSeek AI route? Hmm. Brian, interestingly, this article is saying that while Apple has been criticized about being late to the party on AI, this may actually now be to their benefit, because maybe they could take advantage of the cheaper AI models that DeepSeek might start to herald in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
how people can spin things. So first they were beating them up
Yeah.
about being late to the party. Now they're like, ah, smart move. You waited.
Smart move by
Oh,
Apple.
it's all
Yeah.
spin. You know what? But history has shown us first adopters, usually the first product or the first one out the gate, is not usually the company or solution that profits, right? It's usually the one that gets
That's
the most
true.
hype because they're first, but most of the profit
It is
comes to the
true.
fast follower. Yeah.
Yeah. If
So,
you think back to, and maybe, there are people too young to remember this, but you remember all those MP3 players? Everybody had a specific,
yeah.
a little box that played all their music.
Yeah.
Apple certainly was not the first mover on that one, but in the end, they did it best. Apple's great at copying stuff, and yeah, you're right. It's quite often the innovators, the first to markets, are not the long term success stories.
Yep. I mean, you could pick almost any technology, and it's the same story. You're right, Chris. You know that's one of the oldest ones. How Henry Ford didn't invent the car, but he was the first one to. He perfected mass production of the vehicle,
Yeah,
and the assembly line was really his innovation, not the car itself. It was the assembly line that really, uh, you know, really was Henry Ford's claim to fame. Video games are a great example. You can go back to all sorts of technology. I always think of like VHS and Betamax. Betamax was actually out first, better
yeah,
technology. Didn't catch on because it wasn't marketed as well. VHS came out later. They figured out
yeah.
how to do it a little bit cheaper and more efficiently, and they were able to sell their devices for half the price, lower quality video, but nobody really cared at the time because frankly the TV couldn't even handle. We didn't have the big, massive TVs that you have today. So, anyways, it was. You can see the again we can it gets repeated again and again and again in different industries, so it's worth thinking about, right? Because as we follow these trends in the industry, it's exciting. We trade stocks, so we're worried about how the market perceives potential innovation, and we can see the first round of movers on AI that sort of all got these big bumps and moves. But the reality is, if you're looking for a long-term investment, none of those are probably the company that you want to invest in. You really got to figure out who's going to survive over the long term, who's going to take advantage of really the proliferation of AI once it actually becomes mainstream in products. We're talking about it a lot, right? People are using it, but let's face it. I mean, the uses that we have for AI right now are pretty, I don't know, they're pretty hokey in my opinion.
Yeah.
AI is not going to revolutionize the world because it's helping me write an email better. It will revolutionize the world once it eliminates the need for middle management at every single manufacturing plant in the world, right? Or, because you'd rather have AI make your decisions than a human, because they're going to make more consistent, better decisions. Things like that, right? We haven't got to that point of trusting the AI that it's going to do that, but to me, that's the big revolution that's coming. Helping me shop better, whatever, right? I don't think that's really what's going to revolutionize it. Um, becoming your lawyer, that will make a difference, right? But anyways.
Well, Zuckerberg admitted that in a few years that a lot of the sort of mid-level coders, people that do all their coding, are going to be basically replaced with AI. So
yeah, I can see that.
um,
So
AI, they don't take lunch breaks.
right. So Louis and Teddy, to your question, so yeah, that's the point I'm making about trading, right? We're trading the first movers because they're exciting and they will move initially, but understand you're trading it on a short-term basis. We're not investing, so I want to make that big difference. If you want to invest in AI, then you got to think differently about where do you think, who's going to make money off of it long term. That's one of the reasons I think Nvidia went high so fast, because they were arguably the first major company to actually make any money off of AI, because they were selling all the back end, processors that people needed to even test and try and perfect their AI models. So they were making money out of the gate. So good on them. But you got to think differently. Again, for investing, for trading, I have no idea, right? We got to wait and see where this market goes and what moves next. So it's that's part of the fun. We just wait and see what's going on. Did have a SPAC just opened. DMAAU just opened. First minute of trading here. I'll post it in the room. DMAAU, but it's not looking that exciting. But SPACs don't usually.
Special
purpose acquisition.
Special
company.
purpose acquisition company.
Yeah.
Still short.
So really,
Apple,
what that means is
Apple trade.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm out of Apple.
Hmm.
Yeah. Essentially, what it means is it's a bucket of money that they have available for investing in in startup companies. The markets allowed this a few years ago, where they've allowed companies to list themselves with the intention of investing in other companies. So it's the company and their profitability itself that's being tracked, but their purpose is to fund the growth of other companies. So it's a little bit of a kludge, and you've seen a lot of companies, especially foreign companies, that have taken advantage of this, right? Where they, you know, they have this SPAC, and then eventually, if they get a big product or a company that actually does take off out of their portfolio of investments, they then allow that company to take over the ticker, because they basically it's almost like a back door into the stock market, and they can start trading very actively without having to go through all of the regulatory requirements that's normally needed of a company. So, anyways, doesn't matter. They're tradable vehicles that again don't normally trade very well, but I just mentioned them so people are aware. So we've got 3 others that are supposed to open today. Once again, that's the first of the 4. I'll let you know when the other 3 open. This one really has done nothing. It came out with a few million shares, and now it's completely dead at $10 flat. So clearly not something worth trading. All right, Apple still hanging on to its high of day, as is the market, actually.
Yeah, as is the market. The market kind of did a bit of the Qs kind of did a bit of a 920. The SPY came down to the VWAP and bounced there. So yeah, seems like the buyers are back today.
The buyers are back, baby.
Baby, yeah.
Royal Caribbean now at 265.
Wow.
Oh man, what a move! That's a great move. The other one I see on my screen here that had a good move up, not right off the open, but PLTR sitting near high of day right now.
I kind of
A
felt
strong
like
move up.
I really kind of was thinking PLTR would have been a good stock to watch today as well, because it's been a darling, and it probably got sold off yesterday, and was a good candidate for a bunch of people jumping in back into it today. Looks like Apple wants to move higher.
I missed a Mountain Pass opportunity on Microsoft. Top tick trading, you went long PLTR at 75.60. Where are we at now? Oh, wow. So, yeah, right. I assume that was the second time it got to 75.60 when it came back up through both the VWAP and the previous day close when they sort of joined together. If that's the case, top tick, then nice. You're in it for $4. Got to be happy with that. $6.50
SPY back at high of day.
9. Yeah, right. All right, Nvidia's back to VWAP, right at the $120 mark. We'll see what it does. Apple now is looking. Well, it's finding an area to rest for a minute here.
Yeah. Yeah, Apple's just spending a little bit too much time here. I don't know. It's probably, I can't see it selling off, but it's again just 9 EMA. That 9 EMA is sort of holding it up right now. But we'll see. We'll see what the market does. See if it can push back up. Still got some big orders there at 239, and of course that very big order at 240. So what else? Nvidia going to keep back to 120 figure. Yeah, 120 level. Again, we've kind of run out of. So we had the initial sellers that expected to show up at the open, and then the bargain hunters came in and bought the market up, and now the bargain hunters seem like they're kind of done for the time. And yeah, there goes Apple right back to the. It's really trying to get through this 239 right now.
Yeah, it does look like it. Nvidia just below 120 and below VWAP. Every time I look back at Royal Caribbean, it's up another dollar. 230 is 266 now.
So what's it is? Did it have some earnings? I didn't see it on the earnings calendar.
Yep, they had earnings this morning.
Okay.
They beat their last quarter of 2024 and increased their guidance for the 2025 fiscal year.
Nice. Here we go, 239. On Apple, I would say is heading to 240 now.
You did say there was some orders sitting there.
Yeah. It's 240 just seems like a good number now for some big orders at 240.
All right. Well, I do have something scheduled at 11 that I should get ready for. Again, wasn't planning to be here, but thank you everybody for allowing me to trade with you at the open this morning. I don't do it very often, but it's nice to occasionally be here. I think we've got someone coming on at 11 that'll take over for us. Carlos, if you're out there, you can confirm that.
Yeah, me and Avi are going to be coming on shortly here, so we'll take over from you guys, and you guys can go enjoy the rest of your day. Great trading, by the way, guys. Good stuff.
Yeah, we had a pretty good day here, actually.
Not bad. So 2 trades for me. You guys were here with me for them. The short on Nvidia right off the open, and well, actually, it was two short attempts on Apple that both got stopped out. So I guess 3 trades. But yeah, Apple clearly wasn't ready to reverse, but I didn't get hurt on those, so that's great. So I'm pretty happy. Thanks, everybody, once again. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So trade smart, everybody. Stay tuned, though. We got more live trading for you. So,
thank you, Peter.
Later, everyone.
Nice looking shirt, by the way.
Indeed. Team shirt. Well done, everybody.
Awesome. Avi, I see you're on. Good afternoon. Brian, if you want, we could take it from here and give you guys a break.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and shut it off over in our members tab. So our members tab, we're going to shut that down, and Thor will be on about 4 minutes or so. It's 3 minutes now. So yeah, so over on our chat room, we'll talk to you guys later. We'll continue here on YouTube. So, all right. And let me just transition this over.
All right,
Brian, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks. I'm still long a little bit of Apple here. I'm looking for this 240, so just hanging on to that last little trade. So hope everyone had a good day. Thanks, Carlos. We'll catch y'all later.
Absolutely.
And just before I go here, we do have one earnings report at the end of the day here, Starbucks. So may jump on for that later if people are going to join us. So stay around for our members trade after the market, Starbucks.
Yes,
Ciao
I
for
like
now.
the way Starbucks trades, man. It's one of my favorite tickers to trade at earnings. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Abby, my friend, good morning. Well, good evening for you. Good morning over here. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm good. Good morning to you, Carlos. It is evening here, past sunset, near bedtime already. But it's good to be out.
Awesome, man.
How you doing? How you doing today?
Doing good, man. We missed you yesterday. Did much better today than yesterday. Yesterday was a rough start for the week for me. Had a couple of small losses. Not a big red day, but definitely not green. But today, much better. So I'm very happy with today's results. How about yourself? You didn't do any trading yesterday, but I'm sure you traded today.
Yeah, I had that power outage at my place right before the open. I didn't even know if I should trade or could trade, but things came online and got into a couple of trades, got 2 and done for the day. So can't complain. Microsoft and Google, both of them were okay. And happy with it. So yeah, interesting day. Very hectic, I gotta say. When the power goes out right before the open and all that stuff, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, I
So
saw your message there when your power went out. So that, yeah, that's wild, man. Glad it's back up and running that we're able to get you here. So pretty cool.
yeah. And what happened yesterday? I tried my best to stay away from the markets. I really did. I went into a Green Day and Offspring concert that was going on here in Dubai and had fun with
Nice.
that. But anytime I open up my phone, there's another email about this big Nvidia crash or another message about an Nvidia $1 trillion. So I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm at a concert. I don't want to know about it. Just-
It was almost the end of the world, man. The world almost ended yesterday. So you were better
Oh,
off being at a concert than seeing this massive madness that was going on here. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Look, it's creating a lot of volatility for us, so we're enjoying it. And it's going to create a lot of more volatility for the coming days. Like this is not over. This is big enough that we'll be enjoying this for a couple of days. Given how these markets are reacting to this news, right? And there's so little that we know about DeepSeek. As more comes out, we'll see more volatility. Which again for us doesn't matter whether it's up or down. It's good either way. So
Yeah, if it moves, it's good. Hey, you guys want to hear a little or see a little something exciting? This will be fun. If you look at my
yeah.
chart here on Google, where I got these levels, did that big hammer at the bottom, I took the long. Should be in that reversal, right? But it spooked me out as soon as it got to the next green line. So I took off the position, yeah, a minute after I got in, which was still a very nice green trade. But you can see how big that would have been. I'll show you the chart here on the options. Look at that, getting in, getting out, and look at the move. It's just
Oh man,
just
yeah,
missing the
yeah,
whole thing. And I'm sitting here like, I should still be at the concert. What's the? It's just one of those
yeah,
points of
yeah.
frustration. But
But you know
it
what?
spooked me
This that's not like you. Usually you're pretty good at holding on to these trades. So were you just in a
out.
rush, or because you're pretty good at like letting these winners run? So
Uh, I don't know, man. I still got a lot of punk rock ringing in my ears from yesterday, so maybe I don't know,
you're
man.
just like let's get it and run.
Yeah, let's just go. My gosh, I
Oh
got the
man,
entry just precisely in a trade
yeah.
management. And here's something actually I'll show you guys that this is a good lesson. If you look at this, the whole thinking on this was trade management, right? It got to where I thought it would be trouble, so I took some of the position off. The rest got me at break even. All right, and it would have been a massive move if I just didn't touch it. But
Yeah.
if you look at a different one on Microsoft, on this contract, I went long pretty much at the open, and I did the same thing. It got into an
Mm-hmm.
area where it got troublesome, so I started getting out of it. And sure enough, that was a good decision. Could look, it went the other way. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
did the same exact process on both these positions, Microsoft and Google. One, I'm glad I did because that saved me from having losses and actually was a very nice green trade in the end, just partial
Mm-hmm.
green trade. And then the same process done on a different ticker. Also glad that I didn't lose anything, but at the same time gave away the reward side of it by getting out too early. The point is, whatever your process is, stick to it. In
Yeah.
the end, you'll be
Yeah.
grateful for it because that's how tighten up the risk. That's one thing, and then if it runs in your favor, it runs. Great.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
happened to run without me. Most days I run with it, but today it just didn't happen. So that's the process, guys. Really, whatever your process is for risk management, stick to it. I did that today on both trades. And in the end, it was still a very nice green day. Can't complain. Nicely into the five figures. It should have been bigger, but you can't complain. The market gives you what it wants to give you.
Yeah, yeah, and over the long run, it's going to pay out more often than not. So, yeah, got to stick
Yeah.
with the process, man. We spoke a lot about that in our boarding class last night. So if you missed it, we'll do it again this Monday, coming up this Monday evening. So sign up now, you'll get access to it. But we spoke about that, man, process over outcome, and how important that is. I see some questions piling up here. We're not. Nicholas is asking, are we going to be live for the Starbucks earnings tonight? We are not, because we're going to be live for tomorrow's Meta, Tesla, and Microsoft. So we'll be live for that. And we're also going to be live tomorrow for the Jerome Powell, right? So Jerome Powell announcement, the Fed announcement, will be live for that at around 1:45. And then we're live again on Thursday for Apple, and I think Visa, some other ones on there. So not tomorrow. It's just Starbucks, which isn't a good one, but it's we're not going to be on for that one.
All right.
And
Getting questions.
yeah,
I'm
there.
trying to read this chat here.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up something here. JJMA, you like the bike? Cool, thank you. React quickly, yeah. While you're trading the open, JJMA, you got to realize that things are going to be fast. You get familiar with it by getting a lot of screen time over the years. And very slowly, after maybe 3 years of watching it, maybe you should dabble in it just quietly, slowly, small size, and get used to the pace of how things are at the open. They're very fast, very, very fast. So again, don't expect that you'll be able to do it just within your first couple of years of trading. Just get your screen time in before you mess with the open. Otherwise, really, it'll eat you up. So that's how I think about it. What are we looking at? Yeah.
Question from Ivan. Can you please share what levels you have on Microsoft? So some of the measure moves for Microsoft.
Microsoft,
I
yeah,
haven't looked at
Microsoft.
Microsoft today. What do we got going on? Okay, here it is.
So I got the measured moves off of the 8 a.m. candle. So I got the top and bottom of the 8 a.m. candle and the measured move going up. That's all I've got. And so far, it's reacted quite nicely to those levels. So it was the 441.18 is where I've got it, and pretty much that's where it's been stuck for about 30 minutes.
Yep. So
What
there
have
it
you
is. I
got,
see
Carlos?
that.
You got levels there? Yeah.
No, no, I was switching over my screen. I'm so used to when I switch to 5 minute. I'm so used to hitting the button from the pre-market show that I switch the screens. It's just like a reaction. Like, wait a minute, I don't gotta do that today. I'm gonna let Avi run the screens. um, all right.
Yeah,
Double
cool.
bottom incoming on Tesla. I'm not sure. Let's check Tesla. Maybe we're going back to retest these lows, right? This the low of the day right now is 386.50. So we're heading back there. Could be. This is the time for reversal. So we're coming up to that 11 o'clock time frame and the 11:12. We'll see. And that's right on that move that I see on your charts, Avi. So let's see if the buyers come in. Let's see how it reacts to this. I'm surprised we're settling back down, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot of movement. It's kind of crazy. Uh, Look at that. Yeah, so this double bottom you're talking about, you can see the second bottom's in higher than the first. That makes sense so far. But as far as taking a trade is concerned, I still wouldn't touch this. It would have to put in a seriously bullish candle now, as in the white candle, its close is right at its high, and then a new 5 minute high beyond that. To me, that would confirm and trigger the entry for the double bottom long,
Yeah.
which still from now is like 6 or 7 minutes away if it happens. So that's the waiting for confirmation idea. Yeah. Nicholas, why do you trust ADM candles more than daily levels? It's not so much that I trust these levels more than daily levels. It's just that these are easier to find. I trust all these levels the same. I have no problem with them because I've traded all of them over the years. Measured moves, 8 a.m. candles, daily chart candles, 30-minute candles, levels. I've done them all. And at this point, it just, to me, levels make sense. And I have no problem trusting any kind of level as long as it's not on like a 1 minute chart or something. And um, and so the reason I go with these ones, the measured move, is just because it reduces the workload. Just makes it easy. I know exactly where the 8 a.m. candle is. Draw the lines, measured move. That's it. Don't have to hunt around for anything. So it makes life easy. And the more you save your mental capital on this technical stuff, the more you can use your mental capital to manage your emotions when you're in a trade. Either it's going against you or for you. Either way, you gotta find a way to, manage yourself and make good decisions. So I focus more on those sorts of things. Hope that makes sense.
Comments on Meta. Let's take a look here. Meta's been a beast, really. It's been so good. So Meta right now, we are that candle from it's very similar candle to what Amazon did yesterday, right? It gapped down. And it's like, wait a minute, we're not involved in this AI thing. It's just popped back up. So Meta just right now just trying to stay above near their all-time highs. I mean, they're crushing it. Look at this bounce. Hit the previous day close, went red for like 2 seconds, and the reversal on this. That's a V reversal. These are very hard to catch, by the way. These V reversals are very difficult because if you don't get a great entry, the pullbacks can get you out of the trade. But man, look at this candle here, and it's gone. It's just
amazing.
completely gone. So, wow. What a market,
Wow.
man. This is exciting. This is
It,
exciting. This market is a lot of fun.
yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, no more rock shows for me. I'm just gonna stay here and trade because this is fun. That's enough. This is
Yeah.
wild. Look at this. My goodness, Nvidia yesterday, if I was here, I would have just been all over that thing. Oh man. But yeah, look at this. Beautiful bounce on Meta again. If you guys want to know about levels, look where it bounced from. If you see my chart, it's pretty much right
Yeah.
there. It's quite precise.
Almost to the penny, man. Very, very precise. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also it's funny where you're getting a little bit of resistance also on that measure move. Just right below is that 670, 669 around that area. So you got a level there
Mm,
as well. You see a little bit of hesitation. Let's see how it goes here.
amazing. Gotta love these. Let's
Amanda
see.
says she's having fun today. Yeah, it's a fun day. I could have fun yesterday, but I picked all the wrong stocks. But today was much better. But yeah, it is a fun day. It's a lot going on. I mean, look at Apple. Apple is just wild, and
Yeah.
this is happening before their earnings on Thursday, which usually is not the case. Usually stocks are very mellow. You know, they don't want to make too much noise before their earnings and kind of see, okay, what's the guidance going to be like? Let's wait for direction. Apple does not care today. It is up 4% and climbing. Again, I know they've been beat up pretty bad over the last couple of weeks, months, really. But today's move is really nice on it. So, so much to trade. Whether you want to go short or long, there's opportunities for both sides of the field here in the last couple of days.
Yeah, fantastic. Whoa.
I'm just looking at your measured moves on Apple here. So it's got that big resistance up there as well that we're struggling with now. So let's see if we're able to break out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I've had to move these measured moves like 4 times on Apple today. It just keeps going. Pretty wild. Chris Gears, no, these are not fib levels. This is measured moves. I'm using the fib tool in DOS and repurposing it, reconfiguring it, just to give me equidistance lines. So it has all that fib stuff on it, percentage and all that, but that's irrelevant. I don't use that. Just simple measured moves. That's what you're looking at. Let's not get that confused. I don't use fibs, Fibonacci's. I never made sense of it.
Yeah, I never even try to understand that. I started so simple. Like, and when Andrew was teaching me how to trade, it was very basic, and I loved it because I don't want to get too technical. And it was so simple, which is kind of your style too. You keep it very, very simple. And every time I looked at Fibonacci levels, like, okay, well, what is all of this? But I'm sure it makes sense to some people, and they use it. And just got to do what works for you as far as levels too, right? So if it works for you and you're using it properly and it's helping your trading and your decision making, right? That's the most important thing in trading. Then by all means, use it. We're not gonna say, it's bad, don't use it. You know, it depends on what it does for your trading. Zach over on YouTube, do you trade earnings? I don't. You, Abby?
No, not at all. I'm here for the entertainment with earnings.
Yeah, me too. And I'm actually here for what's gonna happen the following day. But the actual earning itself, it is so wild, man. I can only remember one stock I made money on was Home Depot, and I made some really good money on that stock. But most of the time I lose. So I say, you know what, it's not worth it. It's just, it felt more like a gamble. I didn't have a strategy, so I just don't do it. The next day after, though, I love them. Love earnings the next day after. So.
Yeah, this week is that kind of week. It feels like all the Mag 7 have earnings, so they're all behaving that way at least.
Yeah.
So plenty of opportunity. So again, you don't have to stay here until, as in you don't have to trade it as it happens. But I gotta say, it's great to watch. Come and show up at 4 p.m. when we have these earnings, and you learn a lot even if you're not trading them. I sometimes stay up late just to watch what's going on, and yeah, it's very insightful. And then you get ideas and expand your trading. And here we got people asking about the Tesla double bottom. I don't like it very much. You can see that, this white candle closed pretty bullish. It still has a wick on the upside. If it was purely bullish, no wick, then the new 5-minute high would be the entry. And the other thing that's bugging me here is that it's not really happening at a level. The double bottom is so big. It's kind of happening in between my zones. So put those two things together, it's not exactly in the right place, as well as the pattern or the price action, the candlestick pattern is not ideal either. I wouldn't risk it. Even if it makes a new 5-minute high now, it may well go. There it is. There's the 5-minute high. There's the entry right there. But I don't think I'd risk this one. You'll get better setups than this. So don't go chasing the market, guys. It's a gold mine. You'll have opportunities all day. Just take the best ones. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, because right here, it kind of didn't hit the bottom, right? It's reversing right in the middle of that measure move, which again, middle of ranges are tough because it's, you don't have the best entry and you can get stopped out so easily. Now the measure move towards the top there becomes resistance and it heads back down. It's a tough entry. It's a really tough entry there. All right, what else we have here, guys? So, all right, double bottom, NVIDIA SSR on DAS, so couldn't go short. You could still go short on NVIDIA if it's on SSR. So, how could Peter go short? Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to enter as with a limit order, right? You cannot send a market order. That's not going to work. You'll get blocked. But you can send a limit order and sit on the ask, and then once it ticks up, you get filled. So you can still short it. What we do is we use a marketable limit order, and again, we're not going to go into the whole details of how that works. But what it does is a marketable limit order is basically a market order with some parameters that when you send it, if you can get filled right on the bid, it will just give you a couple of cents above into the ask, and you're able to get filled on the next available price, right? So it does the IB and DAS to do the calculation, and you're able to short it. But yeah, you can short SSR. The most important thing is there inventory for sure? And of course, Nvidia and these big companies are always going to have inventory for sure. Very rarely do we see big companies like that now have a short inventory. So you can still short it. Is it on SSR now? It should be. Given how much Nvidia dropped yesterday. Yeah, SSR. That's something you don't see every day.
Nvidia SSR. It's like a low float or something.
I know, right? Straight like a low float. Oh, fun. Abby, in the Apple chart, are you still drawing the levels based on the 8 a.m. candle? I think we did answer this one.
Yes, it is the 8 a.m. candle, just going up the levels. That's all. Nothing changes. Not keeping it that way. Simple. And we've got Division V asking if I could only trade shares and not options, would I still just trade Mag 7 and AMD or different ones? That is a good question. So to answer that, the reason I picked up this watch list and only trade this for the last, I don't know, 2 years or so it's been now, is because I want to trade options, and these are only tickers with active options. But now going back to it, if I'm not trading options today, if I'm back to equities, I still wouldn't change my watch list, because the way I'm trading these now, I'm discovering 20 opportunities a day, and you only really need one or two. So there's no need for me to change my way of trading now, as in I'm seeing this, even if it's equities, if I want to do it, I can do it here. I'm seeing reversals, breakouts, continuations, all that every single day. So no, it started out because I wanted to trade options, and now it's even if I was trading equities, I would still stick to the same watch list. It just works.
Yeah.
So again, you got to find what works for you. Not everybody trades this watch list. A lot of people look for catalyst stuff, and, volatility stuff. Like Carlos does a lot of that stuff, 5-minute RB things. I'm just doing it slightly differently, and that's all. So again, you got to have conviction in your own way of doing things. That's where you'll be here for a long time and be sustainable in this business.
Yep, there it is. Brandon is our DAS expert, master tutor here. And he gave you his email address there. He can help you out set that up and how to set that hockey script, so you can be able to short SSR and get in immediately. So
nice.
So there it is. And by the way, if you're part of the membership, Brendan does a class. I think it's every Monday at noon. Brendan, correct me if I'm wrong, and he'll take you over through DAS, any questions you might have. So even if you're a new member, older member, and you have you've been around for a while, but you have questions with DAS or something's not working, head over to that class live on at noon every Monday, and he can show you. And the great thing about live is that if you try to explain how to use something through email, sometimes it gets very wordy. He can quickly show you Monday 12 p.m. He can show you, hey, do this, do that, and you can follow, and it's a done deal, right? So it helps a lot. Avi, how long do you trade stocks before you switch to options? Zach and Z asking the question.
Good one, yeah. I think 3 years in is when I started to dabble into options. Just try to explore it a little bit. And very quickly, I decided to go all in with it. And actually, in the second quarter or third quarter of last year, I went back to equities for a bit during the summer, just to experiment and see if it makes sense to go away from options. And there are a few risky things with options I was trying to avoid, and realized pretty quickly that the benefits, at least the way I'm using options, the benefits are better for me to trade options than equities. So about 3 years, 3.5, you could say. And that's it. Yeah, been hooked since, man. It's a drug. You're hooked.
Yeah. Great question. I got this question last night too from Nicholas. Carlos, why don't we use a TWS on Interactive Brokers? That's what I'm using. That's much better. I'll tell you this, man. If you're using TWS, if you're using Thinkorswim or any other platform where the operational cost is lower, and you can learn that platform and do well with that platform, stick to it. Because the minute you go to Dash Trader Pro, you're going to get ruined. Because what happens is it is so good as far as the visuals. Like, I'm sure with TWS, there's great traders, award-winning platform, and if you took the time to learn TWS, which the learning curve is very steep, you're ahead of the game, right? The commissions are extremely cheap there. Not the commission, sorry. The monthly operational cost, like what, $25 if anything. It's almost basically free. Dash Trader Pro is $150. But if you go to Dash Trader Pro and you try to go back to TWS or TOS or any of these other platforms, it ain't gonna work. I tried using TWS when I first started, because again, $150 a month is a lot when you first start, And after using DAS for 7 months, I'm like, there's no way. It is so clean, so fast, so I love everything about it. I cannot day trade with anything else but this, you know. So Avi, I know. By the way, someone asked me in Dubai. They asked me yesterday. You were not on. Do you? What broker you use? You use Interactive Brokers as well? Do they have that
Yeah,
down there?
IB.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So I'm not
Not a
sure that
problem.
person is watching, but there's the answer. Interactive Brokers. Okay.
IB works just fine. It's a good brokerage platform all over the world, and then you just use DAS for the day trading aspect of it. That's all
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is. Nice and easy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Plus we got
TOS is Think or Swim, T-Man. That's Think or Swim from Schwab now. Used to be TD Ameritrade, now it's Schwab. Look at Rigetti's making a new low here.
So we got JJMA asking, how do you manage or approach a trade after prices have already moved? You often end up buying at the highs before a pullback. That's a good one. And this is why it's really, really, really important to nail down your trading strategy. Really nail it down. That's why you have funded accounts, you have communities, you have moderators, mentors, you have education courses, webinars, all that stuff. It'll help you to really nail down a strategy that makes sense to you, and then you tweak the nuances to your personality's liking, to your temperament, and to your appetite for risk and reward and all these various things. And then you have a really well-defined, clear strategy. And the work that your strategy does for you 95% of the time is it tells you don't take a trade. Because only once in a while a really excellent, perfect setup shows itself, like 10 times in a day. No, that's once in a while. And you get those opportunities. So if you find that you're chasing these stocks around JJMA, you're getting in too late and all, it's probably because you're probably getting excited as you see the move happen, and now you're chasing. Now you're trading outside of your trade book. So once you have your trade book well defined and you truly believe in it, then you stick to it and let these moves go without you. I can tell you today I saw 1,000 moves go without me, but there was no setup. Even though even one that I got the setup, I got out too early. So that happens too. So again, trading is that kind of business. Really nail down your risk management, your strategy, and you get into it. I discuss this stuff with my mentees every single day, and every single webinar I do, every single piece of content or course, everything I put out. Risk management is always the centerpiece of it, the absolute center of it, and then you build around that. So hope that makes sense.
Yeah. People are asking, I'm sorry, using the terminology TWS, but that's Trader Workstation, Trade Workstation, or Trader Workstation, one of the two. But it's basically Interactive Brokers' internal trading platform. So that's what that is. And then TOS is Think or Swim, which is now owned by Schwab, right? So Schwab runs Think or Swim, which again, great. I have Think or Swim, great platform for longer term stuff, long term investments, swing trades, awesome. I love them, but for day trading, DAS it's just everything is so clean on it, right? And it runs so smooth. So really like day trading on this one. How do you rate TOS for future or equities platform? I don't trade futures, but for equity is pretty straightforward for swing trading. Day trading, it gets a whole different animal, and let's be clear too. Like it depends on your strategy. Like the way I'm trading, Dash Trader Pro makes a big difference. If you're a trend trader and you're still day trading and your entries can you have more cushion, then you can work with something like TWS or TOS. You'll be fine. But when you want a certain type of speed, you want to see the data a certain way, the level 2 a certain way, the timing sales a certain way, I think DAS does an amazing job at providing that information in the way that I can make the best decision, right? It just seems that way at least. So.
Yep. Well, I've never used anything other than DAS for day trading, and that's it. I'm not looking around for anything else. So maybe that helps you guys too.
Yeah. MK says everything is phony. Hey, it could be, man. Look at DeepSeek. I want to find out if that's gonna be phony or not, man, because it is creating a lot of waves. So I need to know. We need to learn more about this, man. It's so interesting how something can come out. I'm still like real kind of processing that something can come out in a day and shake up a stock like Nvidia, such a giant stock, right? That's kind of scary if you think about it, man. That you can, even though it can bounce back, whatever, it's doing that now, but to come in and go down 20%, one of the largest stocks in the market, Jeez, that's seems too
Wow.
fragile. My goodness.
Yeah, pretty wild. I mean, looking at this price chart from yesterday, holy crap. What a party. I
Yeah.
thought I was at a good party, but look at this.
The party was in the markets yesterday. It was definitely in
Yeah.
Nvidia. Oh man. All right, what else? Division V. I think Abby did answer that question.
We
Uh,
have what
I believe
question?
we did this about the
Oh
real life
yeah.
trading. Yeah, I think we did answer that one.
They want me
Zach, have you
to.
traded currency pairs? Do you behave similar? Do they behave similar to stocks? Also, Avi, you might know this. Can you trade futures on Dash Trader Pro? I don't know if you could do that. Someone asked me that yesterday
Yeah,
too.
you
Um,
can, you can.
you
I've
can
done
trade
it. I
futures? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've played with futures on the SPY and stuff, and you can. There's a different level of subscription or something you need, but it's all available, basically.
Okay.
Everything's available
Okay.
on DAS. All right. Tesla, you guys wanted to do that double bottom? Not working, right? I was telling you, I would hesitate to go on this one anyway. What I'm seeing now is very bearish activity, but again, it's looking more than anything else. It's just kind of stuck in this zone. You can see the last 30 minutes. These candles are just within this $3 range. I'd like it to exit this area before I get interested in it. For now, just Tesla seems happy to be where it is. Doesn't really want to move for a bit. That's kind of what the patterns are telling me for now. Do you want to know about Meta? About a double top on Meta? Meta's double top. Let's see. So it came from down to up and hit a level, made one top. Second top is in play or in progress now. So it makes sense. Again, it's not an ideal clean double top. But for me to, again, take this trade as a double top, I would wait for it to close one genuinely bearish candle, as in it has no wick on the downside, and then a new 5-minute low would be the entry. So overall, it's pretty good. Again, I don't think I trade this. I've seen better double tops. You see better ones all the time. But yeah, it's there. It's all there. Again, wait for this candle to close, see what happens, and then the next one. So we got 4 minutes more or so for this candle to close. Oh. Yeah, Division V, you want me to paper trade after I'm done trading? That's dangerous.
That doesn't. It's weird, man. I try
It's
doing
dangerous.
that. I don't take it serious because I don't know. Let me hear your
Dangerous.
thoughts
No.
first. Let me hear your thoughts first.
Okay, well, there's multiple things here. Um, One thing is you start paper trading and you start taking these trades that work, and then you switch to live. You're like, I know what I'm doing. You end up screwing it all up, right? Start losing. So that's one thing. FOMO and all that can come in the way. And the other thing is when you're trading, you're not taking it seriously. You can, on your own trading, build bad habits subconsciously without even knowing it. So that's dangerous as well. And on the other side of it, outside of yourself, when you're taking these trades where you're not really serious about and you're trying to demonstrate to an audience, you're not going to demonstrate the right things because really having that live action, that live emotional attachment to the trade, or rather not attachment, but the human reactions and how you behave when a trade is real, that's different. I'd actually be doing you guys a disservice by doing paper trades for you. It'd be a waste. You wouldn't see me really trading. You want to see me really trade, you got to join my mentorship group. I trade with them live every single day. And that's when it's real. And we're right at the open. It's fast and we're looking at stuff. We're putting on serious size options, all kinds of stuff. And I do it, all day. Um, so yeah, paper trading doesn't work and for this purpose. It does work in a different context. Again, when you're learning your first few months, your first year, you're in the simulator, that sort of thing. That's where it makes sense. Other than that, no. For me to come here and paper trade for you guys makes no sense for you guys or for me. Everyone's gonna lose. So let's not do it that way. What do you think, Carlos?
No, I'm with you. I try doing it, and it's like there's something about it. Even if you're not doing it for people, just for yourself. Let's say like I remember, okay, I was done trading, but I still want to keep trading because I was done too early. I'm done in an hour. I still want to be in the trades and take advantage of what's happening with the live market. And there's something about it where you just don't take it as serious. Even if you're trying to take it serious, it doesn't work. So it doesn't benefit you. So I think that don't get me wrong, we're not saying that sim trading is bad, but if you're going through a bad streak, yeah, take a cutoff from trading live, go to the sim for a couple of weeks, just do sim trades, but do your actual trades that you would do if you were live, right? And if you're training in the sim, great, train the sim. You can't stay in the sim forever though. Eventually you gotta go put skin in the game. You got to go live. You got to go to a funded account. You got to do something. Can't stay in sim forever. That's also not helpful. But yeah, to once you made the switch to trading live, to go into the sim account, it's weird. It doesn't work. Andrew talked about this as well a while back. People were saying, "Hey Andrew, you've done so early. Why don't you stick around and train sim?" It's just something very weird about it. Doesn't work, right? And like you said, you brought up some good points. I think it can hurt you more than it can actually help you. You as a trader,
Yeah.
forget about trying to teach somebody else. Just you as an actual trader.
Yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely agreed. Yeah, we'll all be doing a disservice, you know. And then realistically, by standing here and talking with you guys and not taking trades that are not there, that's actually doing a real good service to you guys because again, 95% of trading is sitting and waiting. So actually not trading is a good demonstration of what you do most of the time. You sit there and you watch and you observe and wait and your setups come and then they don't exactly complete themselves, so you don't take the trade. And you sit and do that for hours. And then you get two or three opportunities and you take them. So that's really what trading's about. And if I'm going to show anything or demonstrate anything to you guys, it should be that because that's the majority of it. That's what you do most of the time. Cool deep question. Do you need options experience to join the mentorship group? No, you don't. Most of my mentees don't trade options. You don't need an options experience at all or not even interested in options. That's options is the way I'm doing it is I'm just expressing my view. If I want to take a long or a short on a stock, if I'm long, if I want to go long, I'll buy calls. If I want to go short, I buy puts, and that's all. I'm not actually trading options. Actually, if you want to say it in one way, I'm abusing options. I really am. I'm just scalping them. I'll scalp well in and out within the day. I'm not trading them in the way that they were meant to be traded, as in using them for hedges in a bigger portfolio or putting on spreads for the week or the month or something like that. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm really just trading the price action on these tickers, nothing else. So they don't need options experience. And most of my mentees don't trade options. And I actually recommend you don't trade options for a while, not until you get a good grip on trading and what trading is for you. Then you can leverage it up. That comes later.
Uh, Someone asked how long we've been trading. I'm coming up on 8 years, and I think you have like seven, just one less than me or
Yeah,
so, seven or
about
so. Yeah,
6, yeah. 2019, yeah, about 6, yeah.
yeah.
Almost 7. I don't know, man. It's
Seems
amazing.
forever.
It becomes
Seems
a part of
forever.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does. It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter after a point. You're just there. You have a family. You know, BBT is a family for me. I show up, hang out with my folks all the time, and we trade and we do all this work and
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
it. And we get to share it. We meet more and new people all the time. And then we have these meetups and summits in Vancouver. And we went to Colombia recently. And then we have these webinars and we have this offline stuff, or we talk even when the market's closed. Like with my mentees now, we're doing a Friday happy hour thing like towards the end of the day on the
Nice.
Friday, we just like get together and share your stories of the week. You know, we can interact beyond the stock charts and you know, get to know each
Yeah,
other better. It's like
that's
that's really
important.
great, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that sort of thing. Very, very good.
I love TWS, but most of my trades are swing. Yeah, for swing trading, DAS is not the best for swing trading because I like to see the triangles. Like with Think or Swim, the triangles stay there so you can see your entry. With DAS, it's so meant for day trading. With DAS, like after midnight, it disappears if you swing trade. And you can still see your precision, but you can't see like the triangles. With Think or Swim, you got like a line with your entry, has your price target and the number of shares and your average price. So that's nice. Yeah, there's better platforms for swing trading and long-term stuff for sure. So better benefits. The mobile app, that's mobile app is like an emergency app, right? If you're running out, you got to monitor something. It's an emergency app. But if you look at that app, it's like okay, compared to other ones out there, it's not great. But like I always say, I'm not knocking DAS. They're built for speed. DAS is like I like to compare it to like your NASCAR, right? So NASCAR, you're not gonna have power windows, you're not gonna have a radio, you're not gonna have comfortable leather seats, but it's gonna go fast. It's gonna go very, very fast. Think or Swim, other ones are like your Ferrari. They're still nice, they still go fast, but you got all the bells and whistles, but they're not gonna be as fast as the NASCAR, right? So that's the difference, right? So they're both good in their own perspective ways.
Yep. Built for a purpose, absolutely.
That's it. That's it.
Gee, you got the short on Tesla, alrighty. Good on you. Make sure you're
Nice.
trading your setup. Yeah, that works. What do we got here? I'm trying to
Man,
read
right
this
right
chat.
to
What
your
other
level. Tesla right to that level, and look at the rejection there. I haven't, I didn't have it up when it happened, but man, that
Yeah,
is,
amazing.
yeah, that is clean.
Yeah.
That is clean.
Nice when it works. Always good. Amanda, yeah, that's what I do. One account for day trading, another account for a different purpose, long-term investments, and just basically for every strategy, you have a different account. It's easy to do. With IB, you can just segregate your funds into different accounts. So I basically have only two. One is day trading, other is long-term investments. That's it. So keep it simple. You don't want to mix it up, mess it up, and then you have a bad day trading. You think, oh, it's made up for by my investment account. But you know what? You start thinking like that, you're gonna mess up everything. It's all just spaghetti in your head. Keep it clear.
Yeah.
Keep it clean. You don't want to do that.
I used to have it on both, man. And I remember one time, I was it American Air? I forgot what ticker it was. I forgot I had a swing position, and I day traded it, and it screwed up the entire average.
Mm.
So it was messy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why people have two accounts. So I was trying to figure out why you have two accounts. No point in that. But yeah, if you're swing trading and day trading, they should be separate, unless you don't plan to like trade the same ticker, right? As a day trade. So yeah, it's
Yep,
just messed the whole thing up.
absolutely. We got an
Rookie mistake.
interesting
Rookie mistake.
yeah. We got an interesting comment here from Melanie talking about 3 years to learn trading. By 6 years, you were good at it. By 9 years, you were golden at it. Okay, that makes sense. But the truth is, everyone's learning curve is different. Everyone's time frame is different. Everyone learns at a different pace. Everyone's life situation is different. Some people can, when they get in, they can only commit an hour a day. Some people, when they start, they can commit 8 hours a day. Whatever it is, everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different. So my take on that is give it the time it deserves and give yourself every possible advantage to learn the business. Again, get in with the right people, with the right information, with the right kind of education, the right kind of mentors for you, who you can communicate with well, who you get along with. Again, the right communities, all of that stuff. That's incredibly important. And the learning curve is different for everybody. But, again, don't quit your job until you get this to work out for you and have that overlap for a while before you quit your job. That sort of thing is pretty standard advice. That'll help a lot. You don't want to overstress your learning curve. You don't want to blow up in the learning curve. You want to survive the learning curve. So give yourself every advantage that you can, including time. Including time. I think that's important. I made that mistake. I gave myself too little time. I went live 3 months after being in the sim. That was not smart at all. It should have been a year in the sim. I went back to the sim back and forth for the first couple of years just because of that. So, give yourself the time it deserves, and it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. What a fantastic way to make a living, right? As for me, it's a full-time living. It's great. So take it that way. Give it the time it deserves.
Man, I'm looking at it's amazing how fast these YouTubers or anyone can just recreate media so quickly. Videos, for example, DeepSeek just came out yesterday. There are already hundreds of YouTubers explaining what it is, and I was like, man, that is pretty fast. And some quality videos too. It's like, it amazes me how fast things can get picked up. And okay, let's sit down and make a video on this right now because this was hot. Like there's videos all over this stuff now, right? So it's what's in play, man. Wow, shaking up the world. I'm loving it.
This is fantastic. It's funny, I showed up about 15 minutes before the open today with my mentees, and
Yeah,
everyone's going on about DeepSeek and all. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? Look, the stocks are here. Here are the levels. Let's try and trade this. And they're like, no, this
yeah,
thing on Apple Store, you downloaded DeepSeek. That's why the stock moved. Like, what, really? Shit, man, what the hell?
yeah,
I had no
yeah.
clue just until a couple hours ago. Still don't have a clue, really. But yeah, it's all very fast, man. The world
So
moves and
fast. Data information. I mean, back, what, 10, probably 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't this fast, right? It will take someone a week to make a video like this. Now they can make a video on it in a matter of hours. It's pretty amazing. So,
yeah. Fantastic. We got someone here on YouTube, Mot3, asking about the next boot camp. Well, the current one is underway. Any idea, Carlos, when the next boot camp schedule is?
we do 3 a year. I don't know the exact date. The
Four
next will be
months.
further for, is it the fall? No, this, I think we have a summer one, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
summer, April, May makes sense.
yeah.
I think we have the next yeah, starting.
It might be a little bit late. Actually, let me check P Capital. We should be right on here, but we do 3 a year, and we're in week number 4 for the one we're in right now. So it's 13 weeks, and yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but trust me, it's gonna help you a ton, a ton, a ton. So if you're interested, check it out. Tons of information over at pcapitaltrading.com. I'm checking in here to see when is the next boot camp. Let's see. We should have the dates right on here. If I click purchase, it should tell me.
There we
It
go.
still
Brendan
shows the
got it.
winter section. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we'll find out.
Yeah, there we go. We got a question from Scott about Google. I think Google's in a happy place. It's been there for a while. It wants to be there. Doesn't look like it wants to go anywhere. Even though this may turn into one of those long tail hammers, I don't think I'd take this going long, just because it's really just been in this area. It's made a very nice move. There's nothing telling me it's going to exit this zone. If you want to scalp it inside here, okay, on a 1-minute chart, you probably can. But why would you risk this? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Ellie,
So it
you
looks
want to know
like
about
it's,
the Tesla?
It's
Yeah,
spring.
go
May 2025 is the next one. So got the spring session coming in. Then we have the fall in September 2025. So yeah.
There you go.
Tesla.
Tesla double bottom is the question here. It's a tricky one. Again, messy price action. We know Tesla can just rip out of nowhere. It is a double bottom. It's all there. You have the first bottom, you have the second, well, it's quite literally the third, where second and third are basically the same bottom, which is not encouraging. This is not a clean pattern. You want the highs to be getting higher, not just sitting in the same place. Even though it's printed a couple of bullish candles, it looks tempting for an entry, but it's not a clean pattern. You want a nice double bottom where it comes down, bounces, gives you a second bottom, slightly higher than the first one, and off you go. This is not doing any of that. It's gone up, it's come down, now it's stuck there. This is beginning to look more like chop in the last 30, 40 minutes. So I would, again, it's not something I would risk money on.
Yeah, because see, I don't trade double bottoms, but if I were to take this one, I want it to be hitting that level, that measure move, like that low of the day, right? And then kind of give me a clean one. But here, it's just kind of stuck right in the middle. So you can start getting that ping pong action between that top level and the bottom level and not really break out anywhere. And what happens with that is you can get it right, but if you don't have a great entry, the pullbacks are going to stop you out, right? So for example, here you could feel like it's going to be a long, it's going to hold here, but your entry's just, it's not going to be great giving the low level you have here, that low of the day level. So that becomes the issue. You could be right, but you might not be able to survive the pullbacks on this thing. And that's the problem with getting in the middle of these levels. You don't have you're most likely not going to have the best entry, right? So now anything can happen. Can you go short here and this thing could drop to 200? Absolutely. But you got to go with what happens more often than not. And that is what we see after looking at charts over and over and over again. That is what we see more often than not, right? So you got to make the best decision with the information you have. So
Absolutely right. Got to work with probabilities. And if, again, this is another thing I was discussing with my mentees today in the live session. If you're unsure about it, you have to squint and look at it for 30 seconds before you decide. It shows that you're unsure about it, which should tell you don't touch it. Simple enough. That's a nice little way to qualify when you should not touch a trade, which is most of the time. So, yeah, if it's not nice and clean to your eyes, don't touch it. Simple enough.
yeah. So Nicholas is saying that he trades the 1-minute ORB. Yeah, the 1-minute ORB, man, I tried it a couple of times. I need more data, so I got to go with 5 or greater. The 1 minute for me is so volatile, so I stay away from it. But if you could trade it, great. That means you're able to process information much faster, and that's not a bad thing if you cannot process information much faster, right? You just got to find out what works for you. But yeah, the 1-minute ORB for me, I tried it, and even now it's like it just doesn't work for me. I need to see a little more data. So
Yeah. It's different for everybody, right? Some people's personalities are aligned for that kind of trading.
Yeah,
Some are not.
exactly.
So you gotta pay attention to that. And I'm with Carlos. Like I don't trust the 1-minute ORB. I tried it in the first year or so, even 2 years, I think. Not for me. Definitely not for me.
I
go
never
with
had
the
luck with that
5-minute
thing,
trends.
man. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm gambling, even though I have a strategy for it. I'm just gonna do exactly what I do on the 5-minute RB. I'm gonna do it here, and it just doesn't feel right. It's just And then I see Andrew do a 1 minute RB like nothing. Like, oh, this looks great, like a 5 minute RB, boom, and he can trade very well. No.
Different for
1 minute RBs are exhausting. Yes, they do require. See, this is why personality is so important, because they are exhausting. Like, you have to be paying so much attention, hyper focus, and that's not me. I'm too laid back. I'm want to take it easy. Like, okay, let's wait for it. I'm a boring trader as well. I'm kind of like what you saw Peter today in the morning, kind of very relaxed and chilled and boring. But yes, the 1 minute RB requires a whole different type of person, man. So I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh man, here's another thing. My
Yeah.
trading is actually based on 5 minute candlesticks. So a lot of times I'll trade, it takes 2 hours to set up a pattern, so late in the day and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But recently, if you guys have noticed, last week and even today, I didn't trade yesterday, but even today, I'm getting entries in the first 30 seconds of the day. And it looks like I'm right at the open. I'm scalping faster than a 1 minute RB and all. It looks like that on my charts. But the truth is, I mean, my mentees know this. I talk with them before the open and show them the setup I'm looking at. And it took overnight to set up. And at the open, if it behaves a certain way off of a certain level, okay, there's an opportunity. I might take that. And it'll go off to the next level in a space of a minute, because at the open, things move fast. And then you take off the trade, and that's it. The trade's done. And it looks like an ORB or opening volatility kind of trade, but it's not. So again, trade your style and really understand your style. And it can look like other things, but doesn't mean that it is. That, again, it's very different. I'm trading 5 minute charts at the open, and it looks like it's ORB stuff, but it's really not. So pay attention to those things. You'll get excited looking at different kinds of traders and all. Really take the time to understand what the strategy is before you just jump in or copy trade. That's the worst you could do. But definitely important to pay attention to the strategy and the nuances. There are a lot of details in it. So there you go. JJMA, would I have taken the Amazon exit above the green range? I don't want to say a green range. I have green lines. All right, so Amazon, earlier in the day, again, today when I was with my mentees, we were talking about this on the mic, where did a 5 minute ORB, basically broke out about 15 or 20 minutes later, even did a bit of a retest, if you look at it that way, and going through the levels. If I was to catch this breakout area, and I don't trade breakouts typically, so I didn't take this one, I would have taken the majority of my position off here at this 237.50 area, probably 80-90%. And then when it consolidated above and looking strong, I'd add back a lot. At that point, it's risk-free, because the entry break-even price was down here, and I just moved the new break-even to somewhere up there, probably, and I'd add accordingly, and then go to the next level and take the majority of it there. And then if I'm noticing strength up in this area, I'd probably add more with the exit right below. Again, this is free in the sense that it's better than a break-even exit, and probably would have been exited at around this 239 area. So this it's a little bit of recycling at levels, not something I typically do, but the point is you're going from level to level, and that's it. That's how I would trade this. A lot of my mentees actually caught this one. It was a good ripper, man. This was really fun, getting that breakout right there. Again, I used to trade breakouts all the time. I just don't anymore. And this was a good one. It had a nice consolidation, and then still consolidating after the open, and that's a good breakout. It's actually a good setup for a breakout too. So there you go. That's my take on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon was clean, man. It gave you a little bit of everything. I mean, the breakout above the previous day close, so much going on there, and it just never looks back. Like, it really never looks back. So that is nice. Yeah. Agreed. One of the biggest challenges with the 5 minute ORB is that stocks can't get too extended, right? So, like Amazon today was perfect 5 minute ORB breakout. But now let's look at Apple. You missed it. It's gone, right? Yeah. You're not gonna get it in a 5 minute ORB here. So yeah, so there are opportunities where if they're gonna be like Apple, you're not gonna get in on them. You're not chasing that, and then you look at something like Amazon, and you're going to do very well, right? So it's knowing exactly when not to chase is very important on the 5 minute ORB. If you chase something, you can pay the price big time. So
absolutely. And we've also got Meta, guys, just going now in the last minute or so. 5 day, off you go.
Oh man, this
Let's move these moves.
Awesome.
Yeah, wild. 680 is the next level up for me, man. Anyways, you guys are like breakouts. That's what it is.
Every time I see Meta break all-time highs, I got to go back to the weekly, look at the monthly, look at the weekly, and just remind myself this stock just a few months ago was at $96, $89 back in 2022. So
Oh,
just last year at 370. I mean, wow, so
look at this.
impressive, man, so impressive. Um, but yeah, this
Yeah, I see
insane.
that October 2022. It was about $100 or a little below.
This is when the metaverse was kicking their behind. Investors were like, this guy, Mark, lost his mind investing all this money in the metaverse, meta universe, or whatever it was. And he turned it around. Turned it around. Earnings coming up. We're going to be live tomorrow for earnings. So you got three shows tomorrow. You got this one, the morning show. We have the Jay Powell at 2 o'clock. We're going to start probably around 45. And then we have the big earnings tomorrow. Is Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla. The big three. There's some other ones, but those are the big three we're going to be looking at. So let's see. I don't understand why these stocks are moving like this before earnings, a day before earnings. I mean, are they expecting things to be this good? Just wow, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exciting. I'm gonna have to put on my aggressive boots this week and
You have to,
get very aggressive for this week.
your aggressive boots and your jacket. You better come on with your leather jacket tomorrow, man. You better be ready for what's about to happen.
All right, you know what? And since things are moving, I'm gonna wear my motorcycle helmet too, just here on the
you
mic,
you
just because
should just
it's
in
gonna hit my
case
head somewhere.
something comes at you. You can dodge and be ready. So absolutely
Yeah, that kind of
awesome
week.
stuff. Uh, Guys, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube if you haven't done so already, and also check out bearwithrest.com for our meetup in Vancouver. I mean, Abby spoke about it a little bit earlier. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think all of us are going to be there, so definitely join us there. And it's my first TED event. I've never been to a TED Tech Talk before, Bobby. I'm not sure about you. So
No, not to a TED event, but yeah, we're
yeah.
doing it ourselves this time. And no,
Yeah, so it's
BBT.
gonna
This
be
is
fun. It's gonna be hard to be like part of the hosting crew, but also not be like a member, like a viewer. Like I just want to watch and learn, right? So it's gonna be interesting framework. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Don't miss it. More information on bearwithrest.com. So definitely check that out. Abby, you share your setup. You share this setup in BBT.
Yes, yes, I have done over multiple webinars. And also, I'm preparing that short video now, which should be ready now in a couple of days, about 5, 10 minutes or so, about the
Nice.
strategy and how this works. So, yeah,
Yep.
definitely been shared, and I do share it every day with my mentees live. Also, it's in the course that I've got on Trading Terminal. It's all there. So, yeah, it's been shared plenty in many different formats. And now the new one will be coming in a couple of days.
Yeah, and this is give you guys a snapshot. So this is all of our strategies that we have. So as you can see here, let me get this out of the way. There we go. We have about 20 right now, and you could tell which moderators trade which strategies. Myself, I do 5-minute RB. Lenny, where's Lenny? He does 5-minute RB, and also Pierre, right? Very familiar. Oh, we got 21. We added one more. High of day breakout with scanners. Oh, this is new. I gotta dive into that. Okay, that's a new one. Did not know that. And then Abby's gonna come with yours. Is gonna come here once you have it. So, yeah, you can take a look at that. It's gonna be a lot of great information here on how we trade strategies. Tons of details too, guys. So, definitely check it out. And you get access to this with like the lowest membership. I think like if you do the $39 membership or the dollar try or whatever, you get access to these videos. So you can take a look at that.
Yeah, fantastic resource. Really fantastic. Just amazing. Yeah, I can tell you how powerful this stuff is. At one point, about a year and a half or 2 years into my trading, I actually quit. I just completely quit. I couldn't figure this out. In 4 months or something later, I bumped into BBT on YouTube. I think Eamon was putting out a video or something. And I figured, what? I still have the membership. I went back into the BBT website and I looked at, I think it was one of Eamon's videos in their educational videos about a ABCD pattern and how to trade it on a 5-minute chart or something like that. And that was it. I haven't looked back since. Now I'm here. This was 3.5 years ago or something. So I can tell how powerful the community is, as well as the education center and everything in there. Sometimes, at least for my case, I had to just step away and clear my head and sort out my life. And then I was, mentally able to absorb this stuff. It's a lot of great stuff and a fantastic support system too. So I'm telling you guys, man, this for me, this was a lifesaver. Really amazing. So I don't know what you're doing, not getting it. It's right here. So go get it. Really amazing. Best thing I ever did.
Yeah, it's just the link is there, guys. So you can get access for $1, right? Just come in there and you can take a look at those 21 strategies and take a look at those videos. And then if you like what you see there, there's webinars that are an hour plus longer that have even more details on the strategy, right? An example. So a lot to see there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look. How's the SPY doing? How's the markets? What's going on? We recovered today. I see the SPY's pushing a little bit higher after yesterday's type comeback. Nvidia, our good buddy. What's Nvidia? Trying to get going here. Okay, trying to new high of the day on Nvidia. So we've been talking here. It's been trying
There
to
you
break out there.
go. Yeah. Breaking out. They can even call this a 5-minute RB if you like, but basically breaking the high that it made in the open.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and then the recent high. Very nice. Interesting. Very interesting.
Everything is going north, man. Amazon's moving up. Tesla is struggling, right? Tesla is down here struggling, but if everything starts moving north, we might start seeing some movement here. Question in chat. Like Amazon this morning, it wouldn't have failed you. Would you have it a massive loss? Yeah, correct. Like yeah, exactly. So. Exactly. That's why the VWAP, you got to give yourself a little bit of room. It can be right at the VWAP, right? You gotta be careful with that. What else we have?
Yep. We got this name M with 10 A's right after 3, mod 3. Yeah, so mentorship, I put a link in here for you, so you can have a look there if you'd like. It's all in there. Yeah.
Right, excellent. Kevin, good buddies in chat today. Thanks for being on. Melanie, thanks for being on. You guys are awesome. Eli also on deck here, so excellent. All right, guys, any questions before we wrap it up? We're coming up about 4 minutes before we end the show here, and we'll be back tomorrow again. Again, big day tomorrow. So much going on. Avi, you're not gonna miss it. You're not gonna miss the party this time around. So Avi will be watching out
I'll be here
with his helmet and a leather jacket ready to go.
Yes.
And downloading DeepSeek to make sure he's ready for any madness that comes up. It's funny. When I first saw it on Monday morning, I downloaded it, so I have it on. I haven't signed up yet, but I downloaded it, and we'll take a look, see what's the big fuss is about. So.
Alrighty, yeah. Well, we got plenty to do. I'm not gonna sleep tonight, man. We're all pumped for tomorrow. I'm already pumped.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm definitely pumped. Starbucks tonight. So in our chat room, if you guys join, you're gonna see the team that does the close. They're gonna be on watching Starbucks earnings. This stock does trade very well, so I will be watching this one tomorrow. Again, I don't trade earnings, but I do like to trade the day after when they get the volatility, when they're gapping up or down. They had a lot of changes, man, to their CEO and some crazy bonus. The guy, you hear about this? The guy was on for like 6 months and he already got like a $5 million bonus. And employees he was just, for being on for 6 months. I guess they didn't want the CEO to come in and just leave right away. So they got the CEO from Chipotle is their new CEO for Starbucks. They fired the other guy because he wasn't doing well. Sales were declining. And one of their bonuses just came out for being on for 6 months, $5 million. I'm like, you haven't done anything. What have you done? $5 million? I'll tell you, man. But he did well with Chipotle, so hopefully he can do the same with Starbucks and turn things around.
He's gonna stop selling coffee and start selling tacos, man.
Exactly right. Add tacos to the list or something. I don't know, man. This should be interesting. So we'll see. Earnings will tell how well he's been doing over the last couple of months. But yeah, I work for 6 months and be gone, right? T-Man.
Love it.
$5 million. That's awesome. All right. So employees are, if you're wondering where your bonus went, there it is.
Mm, Employees, yeah, they're doing the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Renegotiate my contract. Yeah. Tell me about it. All right. What else? What else
Meta,
we got going on?
Meta's ripping, Nvidia's at a level. There's some activity right now, just in the last minute. Look at that.
Yeah. Look at Meta, man.
Right there, 123. Let's just put these levels further up, see how far it wants to go. Yeah, approximately 125.50 would be the target if I was in this. There you go. Nvidia and Meta, both of
Nvidia.
them.
Yes. It's just wild. Even the president, a lot of people have been talking about this. Even the president spoke about DeepSeek, right? They're like, hey, this is good for everybody, right? The fact if they can do it cheaper, this is good for the entire business. And a lot of analysts were saying that this is good for everyone because, it's not healthy that a bullish market shouldn't be just on a couple of stocks with Nvidia leading the way. It should be more broad. So if there's competition, other stocks can start doing well also. So they're looking at it as positive. Everybody's painting it positive. Only time will tell. But the price right now looking pretty positive for Nvidia. Trying to get above the high of the day there in a nice breakout. Again, the only one that's struggling is Tesla. Tesla not joining in the party right now, at least at the moment.
Not yet. Not yet, yeah. Tesla will be a ripper in the second half of the day, maybe. You never know.
I got to keep that in mind. I'm glad you mentioned that. We've been on for a while. It's only 12. Like, we still have a whole day to go. I feel like my day is ending already because I've been on since like 8:30 just watching things. But we're just getting started, man. We've got a whole half a day to go here. So who knows what it's going to look like in a couple of minutes here.
Let's see. Well, cool, Carlos. That's our time so far. It's already noon. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Time
Really
flies,
quick.
man, when you're having fun.
Yeah.
So, guys over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. We will see you again tomorrow at 8:30, 8 a.m. if you're in the chat room with Jared. And then me and Avi again at 11. So have a great trading rest of your day here. And look forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't miss it. See you guys here.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, everyone. Talk to y'all soon. Take it easy.